Welcome to South Harmon.
Wednesday night AMA live and in the building. What's good, everybody? We are back. It is Combine Week. We are starting here real soon. As soon as Adam puts his headphones on, we'll be really ready to rock.
Then we'll be rocking for real. But the Combine's, whether my headphones are on or not, the Combine's here, buddy. What are you thinking?
I thought you had those newfangled Bluetooth ones, the invisible ones that you can't even see.
That would be, if only I was that far ahead of the game,
It'd be something. Man. You have to hook me up. You have to let me know where you got those at.
Now that you're in my headphones, though, and I don't know where I would get those from. With maybe the future. Maybe AI will build them. All this AI stuff going on right now.
Maybe.
Speaking of AI, though, Mike, I don't know if we have any news on if Love's going to do anything, but he seems like he was made artificially, like in the lab,
Yeah, he is. A report a couple days ago said he was going to do all the stuff at the Combine. So
is he? All right.
Yeah, put that in the Discord. Jordan Tyson will not. Though I saw that report, he's not doing anything.
I did see he's basically opting out, which that's why I wanted to make sure he wasn't on the thumb. But which kind of sucks too, because the obviously you want with this class as many people out there as possible. But
oh yeah,
I don't know with the injury history he has too. It's like, damn, I ain't even gonna do this,
Yeah, last I heard, Jordan Love was going to do it. It was a report to two of your Ohio State guys on the defensive side of the ball. Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese also said they're going to perform at the Combine, which I love, man. I love when those guys are like,
too.
Yeah, when they're like, I'm him. All right, like I ain't worried about this shit. As long as you're good. Like I hate when guys come out and they're not 100%. They got a pulled hamstring or something from training.
You don't need to gut through something injury. This is not what this is for, right?
You don't have to do that. Take your time off. But if you're good to go, man, fucking get your ass out there. Let's see it. Let's see it. I love that competitor. Like I'm gonna show y'all. So hopefully that stays true, and we get to Saturday. I believe is when we'll potentially get to see Jeremiah Love run. Which that'll be must-see TV if that happens, because I fully expect something in the 4.3s, but I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, well, he talked about it with his, track pedigree. So, I honestly, to me, anything low 4.4s is like, I think we need that for what we're expecting. If he gets under the 4.4 mark, if he's in the 4.3s, that would be like, okay, let's get the eggplant ready,
It'll be one thing. The only thing I'm like a little worried about, because it'll make you question everything, right? We did the film session on him last week. Sat down and watched him with the patrons in the Discord, patreon.com/South Harmon. And he had a 98-yard touchdown run in one of the games we watched. And I just absolutely fucking cooked the defense. Just ran away from him. So if he came out and he had like a 4.57 at him, and I just watched that 98-yarder on film, I'm like,
yeah, be like, what is going on, my friends?
Yeah, what happened? Is that clock broke? Somebody might want to check that thing. Like, I don't know how to explain that one. But yeah.
Mike, we got a question there. Well, not really.
Right off the rip. Okay, here we go. This is how we're doing it.
No, it's not really a question. It's more of a temperature check on one Noah Fant's dynasty value.
How warm was it where you're at? It's in the 20s today. So
actually, today was in the 40s.
Okay.
It just enough to kind of melt some of the snow there, but not take it all away.
More like Iowa, where he went to college. How about temperature check for Dynasty? Below freezing.
I was going to say, well, because with Noah Fant, it feels like for me it's kind of been that back and forth. We never get to spring, never get to summer. It's like, I'll get excited because it gets a little warm, and it's his dynasty value is the A-Warp tight end life, and unfortunately,
that's not good.
It's good because it's what I put all my tight ends, But
we've had some success stories of the A-Warp tight end life. I've won championships on the back of Juwan Johnson and Hunter Henry. So
100%. No offense. That's what I mean. Noah Fant just falls into that category, and maybe not even quite that high, but
not that high.
The resurgence or the success story, I was, the David Njoku arc, as I pegged it, or even what's his name, Evan Ingram, didn't seem to come to fruition here, fella. So
no, not at all. Zero, zilch, nada.
We got Biz in the building. Throwback Jack, man. Fred Taylor. definitely got it. Speaking of which,
I like that move. I like that move though. Like you can't kill a player.
It's not selfish anymore. It's no longer selfish. It's the Noah Fant thing, like I've done that before.
You can't kill a player with wearing their jersey if they've been retired for 20 years.
You can't. How do you kill what's already dead, right? I mean,
yeah. I love it. So you just stick to retired players. We're good at them. We don't have to worry about it at all.
I don't know why the asset didn't pull up there, but certified sh.it certified shit.
Heard the sounder.
Yeah. Somehow the visual didn't want to come with it, but you got the visual right here. I'm wearing it. So if you head over there, that's our partner Fanatics. Just type that into your browser. It might feel weird at first. It's like anything. But trust me, it works. Head over there. It'll send you straight to the Fanatics webpage, and you can go get Fred Taylor if you don't want to mess with the new player pool and ruin everybody's arc of their career. Mike, let me ask you, pivoting away from Noah Fant, and let's get into this question. We will do a little more of the combine talk, but we got this question queued up here.
Yeah.
Would you trade Olave for the 107 and the 201?
Nope.
So given Olave's rise, 107 and 201, what do you got?
Nope, not close.
107 or Olave?
Olave by a mile.
Okay. 107 and 201 or Olave?
Olave by a mile.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. But just making sure here. I mean, I would tell you in other years, right, in other classes, I would probably consider taking the picks in a lot of formats. This class, just listen, outside the 106, it doesn't get my Peter all excited. It just doesn't. So
I like the big three wide receivers at the top. I'm going to venture to say when it's all said and done after the draft, just going out on a limb here, trying to future project, we might have one or two of them ranked above a Chris Olave, but not the third. So keep that in mind for your pick range on, kind of what you're dealing with, right? You told me this is 104 in the 201. Sure. Go for it. 105 maybe. If you think somebody's going to take Mendoza before one of the third wide receiver, sure. Sure. Like, that's a pretty legitimate conversation. Outside of that, though, 2 picks after the big 5 of this class, we got a lot more questions than we got answered. Now, hopefully, by the end of Saturday, we might have another contender or 2 up there, right? Like if Denzel Boston or Chris Brazel or somebody goes out there and wows at the combine at the wide receiver position, that's good for us for the rookie class. Let's add some more to it, right? Now we're getting some hype here. Some guys who are already kind of talked about potentially being first-round wide receivers in the NFL draft. But as it stands right now, if you told me you got to make this decision right now before you get any kind of indication on Saturday, I'm like, nah, I'm just going to hold on to a guy who was a clear-cut wide receiver 1 last year.
Yeah, and I mean, Mike, so right now at the moment, our good friends, KTC, right? Olave and Garrett Wilson, it's funny, they are bracketed into their own tier, which is weird because you don't normally see a tier of 2 players, but they're 5808 value and 5807. Basically the exact same. I don't know how the algorithm did that, but wide receiver 13 and 14.
And it's crazy they're from the same class, too.
Yeah, same class.
Been doing this whole career.
And same school. I mean, come on. Let's give them everything.
But thing.
Mike, here's what I would say. Also weird because if you look at their age, 1 month apart, although one was early declaring, one wasn't. So here's what I would say. Olave to me is kind of after.
Isn't that strange as fuck?
It is wild, really wild. Yeah.
That's they're essentially the same age, but one was an early declare, one was not.
Yep.
So we knocked the guy who went back to school, even though he's only a 0.1. 0.1 years older than the other guy.
It's funny though because it's the our calendar year in school, right? So you got those summer birthdays, and it's like, do you send your kid early, or do you basically they're going to go as a young kid, or they're going to be an older kid? Which my daughter's born in May, and we'll have that decision here probably soon. But I will tell you this: for Olave, what he did this year, I think, is going to put, at least for this offseason. What's weird about it is his offseason is kind of going to be stagnantly high, I believe. Now, you'll get some hype that but it won't really reflect him in the rankings, right? You may have some people that'll go ahead of him or below him if there's hype. But honestly, Mike, when I'm thinking about it, we're going to need to see draft capital, I think, even for and landing spot probably for Lemon, for Tyson, and for Tate, for them to even probably pass him this offseason, frankly. Now, I'm not saying that they can't, but I think you can kind of solidify him as a top 13, 14 asset for the offseason, unless we get one of these guys that goes, legitimately top 10, like, oh shit, okay, now you might see the needle move. But my point there is 107 in this class, okay, is the exact opposite of stability. It is you're trying to grab a rocket ship. You're probably going to end up taking a rocket ship value player that's not necessarily the one just off the prospect profile in that range. So to me, it's like I'm moving too far out of my comfort zone or my wheelhouse as far as value goes, and the 201 in this class specifically just doesn't get it done for me. I mean, in best ball, if you really wanted to take the shot on it, you're talking 30 roster spots. I don't know even know if I'd want to do it there, but maybe if you're talking any type of lineup league, there's just no shot.
Oh, let's round up the age and call him 26. So we have
he'll be 26 next year, right?
We're still 2 years away from that age cliff for wide receivers. Generally, 28 is when we start to side-eye you a little bit, start to wonder just a little bit. But coming off a wide receiver 1 season in production for points per game, whether it's WARP, same thing. Wide receiver 1, pretty solidly. Adam, almost a 30% target share. Number 1 in the league in air yards, number 1 in the league in deep targets. So not only
nice
being
to get
heavily
those
targeted.
when you're getting crushed every game, that does tend to boost those up, right?
it tends to boost it up. Kind of an exciting offense, up-and-coming offense that we saw towards the end of the season with Tyler Shuck and what they were doing, putting points up on the board. I don't see a whole lot of negatives now. The concussion history is something to worry about, like what happens if he gets another one. Like,
right.
But so far, so good. Maybe
Yep.
new helmets and Guardian caps in the offseason is what he needed to save. I don't know. But, yeah, as it stands right now, Adam, I'm just trying to project out, Tate getting draft capital or Lemon getting draft capital similar to what they were. And if it is close to top 10 or top 10, I do think the Dynasty community is like, what have you done for me lately? And we forget that, Chris Olave was a wide receiver 1 this past season because it's like the new shiny things in front of us. It's the mystery box with top 10 NFL draft capital. So
yeah, the mystery box can go higher for sure. It just it's just not a certainty or a lock that any of them do. I think
and WARP hit rates will tell you that those investments in S tier wide receivers, guys drafted in the top 10 is pretty good rate on return. I'm saying all that to say that when we're talking about the 107 and the 201 as it stands right now,
doesn't contain one of those,
it doesn't. A guy at the NFL level who came off a wide receiver 1 season, who's still 2 years removed from the age cliff, or 2 years to go to the age cliff, who had a 30% target share and led the league in deep targets. I'm like, this one seems pretty easy for me. Give me the known quantity.
Yeah, I mean, and I think what I'll say too is the other thing that could keep Chris Olave's excitement a little bit here in the offseason. Now, here's what I will tell you. At this price, I'm probably not really going to be buying or advocating for, trading for him, let's say. But, yeah, I think he has a chance to stay here just because when you think about the Saints and everything you just mentioned, Mike, I think there's going to be a lot of volatility still for what they bring in. Like, there's going to be talk of what are they going to add to this team, and whether it's in the running backs in day 3 or day 2 or whatever it's going to be, right? Is there going to be, any type of movement added as far as free agency and stuff like that? So I think those talking points for the Saints and the fact that they need to have so much probably cleanup on offense, it's going to just continue to do what? All those things will eventually bring conversation pretty much universally across the board. Aside from Chris Olave, they have no stability, so it's going to be just, you're going to be hearing that, I think, about the Saints. So and I do think, and when you look at the top 14, Mike, the only one that performed and didn't have a quarterback, just straight up. So that part, I think, is kind of speaks for itself. What I'll say then as well is well, we had another question. Oh, I have it up here. Sorry if I missed. What is Mike sipping on?
A little Sam's Club special Sauvignon Blanc.
Really? Members Mark?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Actually, pretty fucking good too, man.
Guy's a member of the club,
Sam's Club, Costco, shout out to them. We're like, discount, bulk, whatever. Big ass bottle. Actually, shit tastes pretty good. It's not like Kirkland beer, okay? Anybody who's
all right.
Go down.
Kirkland brand. It's funny. They've got levels to certain things. They used to have, Mike, for golf balls. They basically had the exact same as Titleist for a while, and then they had something where I don't know if it was a lawsuit or whatever, but all of a sudden the next batch it was not even close to the same. So sometimes they have some really good stuff, and then sometimes it's like the beer. You're like, dude, honestly, just give me anything that's not this,
Please, yeah.
I'll just drink whatever else that is,
I mean, that's what gives everything else a bad rap. But I'm here to tell you, I work in a dairy. Okay, so I bottle milk. Okay, work in a dairy, we bottle milk. Private label shit is a thing, right?
Oh,
like
big
where
time. Big time.
we have our name brand that goes out there and sells for whatever the hell it is, way more than the one that's $4 a gallon cheaper. And you're like, I can taste the difference. And I'm like, no, you can't, bro. No, I guarantee you. It's in the same bottle.
It's in your brain.
It came out of the same tank.
Whatever you're tasting is in your brain, because I've watched it. It's the same. I promise.
It's the exact fucking same, man. It's the exact same. I'll tell you what tank it came out of, for fuck's sake. It's the same thing.
Dude, I will say Super Chat always goes first, but listen, I think this
don't trust Kirkland.
Yeah, just be careful,
Life advice.
Use at your own discretion. For $1.99, Mike, we stay on questions. Pierce, 102, 107, mid 27 first, or Brees Nabers second. This one's spicy.
I'm gonna assume this is Antoine, because I don't think we're gonna talk about
I was gonna go down the same path, but I'm like, no, this is Antoine. This is the Damien thing. All these other people aren't included in this mix,
Antoine Pierce, man, it's good for him to be back to being called Antoine, no longer Alec.
Well, yeah, he had to survive the noise of Adonai, get rid of Adonai, and now he's back.
All right. So if I offered you Nabers in the 102, or Nabers for your 102 and Antoine Pierce. Now think about, we haven't hit free agency yet. The kind of the reports where they're at is he's going to be a hot commodity. Potentially as a wide receiver one.
People don't want to give him credit, but contract year, come on.
Contract year. Is that enough for you? Or with your Nabers love, need more?
Nabers. You're talking 6th overall, Mike. Proved it in elite fashion, God tier fashion, honestly, in his rookie season. He's coming off the ACL. Like, that's the only thing. But, Mike, that quantity, you just talked about known quantity. So think about this. One of the things that we actually haven't covered this, and I'm glad the Super Chat will give me a chance to do it. I'm like, I really wasn't in the belief of Malik Nabers is going to lose value in the offseason. Mike, I'll be honest with you. I think there's a chance, and now I'm going to have to do some digging. This time last year or right now, do you think Malik Nabers was higher as far as ranking on KTC? He's 8 overall.
8 overall in ranking. Positionally, he's got to be right about the same, I would say.
He's wide receiver 4. So he was wide receiver 3 last offseason, which rubbed me wrong as well, speaking of condoms. Rubbed me wrong last year. But
I would say he's definitely lower this year than he was last year at this time.
Overall?
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I would disagree or say it's basically the same is because quarterbacks have taken a dip. You're talking
that's true.
You're talking all time. Let's go to. So let's see. What are we at right now? Give me the February 25th, right? We're talking. So he was so Mike, his value has come down a little. So he was at 8.3, 60. He's at 7.758. When you go all time for let's go overall rank. Basically the same, dude. He's number 7 and number 8. So he has dips, let's call it, right? But basically, relative to the field, he hasn't. So his value, my point is basically coming off of the ACL is almost an uncharted territory. Like, it really hasn't lost anything at all. Typically, you're going to see almost everybody lose value.
Just throwing it out there, do you think that is partially due to, I think you and I can both agree on this one, a little bit the inflation of Jackson Dart and the excitement around Jackson Dart? Because if you look at where he's at in like quarterback ranks or whatever, it's like they got their guy. Like I'm watching all these TikToks and Instagram reels of Jackson Dart apparently the man's got his brother card. You know what I mean? Like he's honorary. He's in. They put in his highlights to music that I'm like, dude, I can't say those words.
They're stretching it. They're stretching it for him. Pause. But no, yeah, I do think that's probably a little bit of the correlation. But I think Mike, it's just it's really interesting because he's ahead of Jefferson, which last year he wasn't. Granted, that's on the field stuff, but he's ahead of Amon-Ra. He's ahead of CD, right? He's and Drake London, which he was the majority of the time as well. But I guess my point is that you kind of, I think it's more by default. That I do agree. I think Jackson Dart upside and Hopium, it does probably give you the cherry on top, so to speak. But I just think he almost slides in here by default. It's like we thought he was one of those ones already. We've seen enough out of him. Even with Russ, as terrible and gross as he was, he had the one blow-up game, and then he had two. He had one that I think he was no catch, and then the other one was just not great. So we've seen enough for him to basically be penciled in as wide receiver 4, coming off the injury. And this is with Puka, JSN, and Chase basically showing out and separating from everybody as far as scoring and what we think of them. So, and Mike, if you think about asset 8, right, you're telling me right now the only people ahead of him: Gibbs, Puka, May, Chase, JSN, Bijan Allen. I mean, those are the fucking staples. And guess what?
Staples.
The easy button. Jamar Chase, Malik Nabers is the exact same thing. He's just the younger version, and he got hurt. All right, so to this question, Nabers over the 102, I think pretty confidently for me. Now, there's a lot still left to carve out here because we got the 107 mid-first Pierce for Brees 22nd. Yeah. So, Mike, here's what I'm thinking. Where it's really interesting to me is the mid 27 first. This probably depends on how your team looks or how you want to try to leverage it this offseason. I think if you have other 27 picks or you think this mid has that potential upside factor, like there's that team's worth betting against, I think this becomes interesting because the 107 for Brees, I think I would still maybe want Brees, but I wouldn't hate the 107 at all. I think value wise, the 107 has a lot more upside this offseason. So. I think right now, if you're telling me this is like the price for Nabers, it probably feels a little expensive, but honestly, it's not that crazy because I think to get a guy that highly valued, if you're telling me right now that Nabers, if you like I just mentioned, Mike, if you put in that mix, Puka, May, Chase, JSN, Bijan, Josh Allen, I think we are all smashing the side with that player because of how highly valued that player is. So that's I think at least for me, the essence of this is a lineup league. Let's say it's start 9 or start 10. I'm probably holding the Malik Nabers side, and I think you could probably make that case for other formats. But if you were trying to go, pick value and you're in more of a productive struggle, you're going to try to leverage up draft picks, I could see taking the other side for sure.
If I'm in a type of wanting to compete this upcoming year, like wanting to push it, I think I stick and I hold. Or if this is the cost to go acquire Brees and Nabers, I think I take those guys. If if I have uncertainty of like I don't really know what the hell I'm doing with this team, I don't know if I'm going to be good. I'm like it's just too much draft capital potential boom for me to get rid of because I kind of mentioned our boy Antoine Pierce out there.
Yeah,
I mean, what if we get this Christian Kirk-like signing? Remember a couple years ago, Christian Kirk signing,
right?
Not late
when he was coming off
coming out of the Cardinals, and we're like,
right.
it was a prospect we liked, and he kind of did some stuff with Arizona, but we didn't really know, and then he ends up with Jacksonville, and he gets force-fed targets and has damn near wide receiver 1 seasons off the rip, and you're like, oh shit, Antoine could do some of the same thing, or we could at least generate that type of buzz, that kind of hype after he actually signs with the team. So. I think I would hold the picks or want the picks if I was a more of a rebuilding kind of team with Brees and Nabers, and someone's offered me the 102, 107 and a 27 first, and I can sell Antoine after he signs for maybe a first, and I'm gonna walk out of this deal with 4 firsts pretty easily.
Yeah,
I think I do that.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the big thing is that, Mike. I think the problem for me and why I want to stay with Nabers, actually DB kind of just put something similar to what I was getting ready to say. So Nabers is 2 tiers above anyone else in this combo. He's kind of given some asset evaluation of the trade picks. And he says the 102, the mid 27, and Brees Hall are all kind of similar valued assets. I mean, I think what I'll say overall about it is this: if the 102, I think makes this, it definitely has some really good value. We're gonna see it for the combine talk. There's some elite receivers, I think, as long as the draft capital checks out in this class to go ahead and grab. But I do think, Mike, the talent of the prospect profile, when we compare a Nabers, let's say, even before we're talking about the NFL, production, which changes everything, he's going to be in a different class for me than anyone else in this class. So I think that's the problem. Is the 102 sounds great, and it is still very great. But when you're talking about the top 10 players, I think in Dynasty overall right now, which I would put Nabers comfortably, I'm going to a little bit too unknown quantities at this point. Frankly, it feels a little too risky unless I'm, more in that, like you said, productive struggle, rebuild, need to do something like that, and then maybe you want to get off of Breece Hall and you just say go ahead and take the picks.
Yeah, Nabers coming out as a prospect, like you want to look at his profile. While a lot of it was his last year at LSU, because up to then we were kind of like, oh, like he got to 1,000, but we all remember the fumble issues against Florida State. Basically cost him the fucking game.
Sure.
First game of the year, we watched that and we're like, all kind of put it together. Last year he went out with Jane Daniels when they won the Heisman, 1,500 fucking yards. Absolutely incredible.
He went nuclear season, right?
Even if you made the case that him and Mekhi Lemon end up with the same draft capital, for example, because I've seen Mekhi Lemon up there sometimes for some people.
Yeah.
Mekhi Lemon's like a 1,200-yard guy. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to like wishy-wash away the 300 more yards their final season and go like, hey, same kind of prospect. It's like, why they got the same draft capital? It's not really though.
Right. Really. Yeah, I mean, it's actually, I'll shout out to Reception Perception, and I think the way he kind of does it there, it's really interesting because he put at that time for that class, which was 24 for those, Marvin Harrison Jr. We got Malik Nabers, and why am I blanking on
Odunze?
Thank you, Odunze, my guy as well. Those guys, all he basically had in like that essentially God tier, like checking every single box that you could possibly want coming out. And you could have argued for Malik Nabers that he had some of the highest overall upside of the three, right? And obviously he started to show that. So to me, it's just they're different quantities, and I think to me, honestly, Mike, even in a lineup start 9, even if I was trying to push to that rebuild, I might have to consider just thinking about looking at trades that say also, okay, what would Breece, and forget the second, let's say, but what could Breece net me elsewhere, and think about keeping Malik just to see if it would even make sense.
I think the only downside for Malik Nabers is if the Giants end up drafting, where they pick 6. If they take a wide receiver
where they took
6.
Malik. Well, that's where they took Malik, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then we get into the conversations about how's this going to be distributed. And they could do something really fucked up and re-sign Wandale Robinson and draft a wide receiver at 6. Like, hey, we're going to do kind of like the Bears. We're going to surround our young quarterback with lots of – now we got a whole lot of questions on – listen, I definitely think Malik is the best out of the group, but fuck.
Well, if that did anything to his price, or even if it doesn't, that's one of those good. More for me and you,
Yeah.
He might start a little slow coming off the injury. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but he will, at least the good news is, have a long. He heard it very early in the season, so it does give you a lot more ramp up time.
As it stands right now, DB's not wrong. He's 2 tiers above him. After the NFL draft and we have landing spots and we know who the 102 is, it's not going to be 2 tiers, difference between those. It'll be 1 tier, but it's not going to be.
It could be 2 if the draft capital maybe doesn't go top 10, right? If nobody goes top 10.
Yeah, like the next skill player off, the next wide receiver, for example, is like the 112 in the NFL draft.
115, whatever, something like that, to a spot that
JSN, kind of draft capital.
JSN went, what, 20, right? So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And JSN coming out was a really high prospect as well.
I don't anticipate it. I think we're going to get 1 or 2 of these guys go in the top 10, and it'll boost them up. But You're not wrong. If it happened that way, then yeah, DB, you're 1,000%. It's 2 tiers and it's not even close. But I think if you get a top 10 wide receiver drafted in this class,
Agreed.
it'll only be 1 tier. Like we're looking at Nabers at the back end of a first, early second in a startup versus that 102 is going to come off the board at the end of the second, beginning of the third at worst.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the class is devalued, but I'll say like the other thing with it is I think the lack overall, even for the defensive side of the ball in this class, does give – it's weird because I would say the prospects don't align, right? Like I don't think those guys are top 10 locked in every year across, but this class is almost gives them a much better chance to get top 10 because there's not a lot of like set it and forget it. You know, you draft this guy, you got the surest thing, and you're just not worried about any type of bust potential with players this year.
It's kind of that way for every position, except for maybe wide receiver. Like the just totality of the class, right? Like at the quarterback, you got Mendoza, and then you're like, I don't know what the hell happens after that. At running back, you got Love, and I don't know what the hell happens after that. At tight end, you got Kenyon Sadiq, and then you're like, I don't know what the fuck happens after that. Even offensive tackle, where you're like, let's get some superstars in here. It's like there's no real consensus on who that guy is, and I've seen him all the way up and down. I mean, maybe the kid out of Miami. I'm gonna fuck up his last name, man. I don't do well with Polynesian or Samoan names at all.
Yeah,
Muaga, whatever. The big fucking
I know
guy.
What you're talking about. I'm not gonna pretend I could say it better, but I know who you're speaking of.
But I've seen him at like 4, but then you also see the report he might be a better guard. You know what I mean? So you're like, well, fuck.
Right.
Guard. It's gonna be a better
That's different. Those are not the same.
So you don't have the offensive line depth on the defensive. Even like Ruben Bain, who we all watched in the college football playoff, wreck fucking people. They're like, his arms are too short. Probably a defensive tackle. Like we don't think he can win on the edge. It feels like we got Arvell Reese. We got Sonny Styles. We got Caleb Downs. It fucking sucks that three of these guys.
Arvell is different, bro. I'm telling you. Arvell's a fucking bad dude.
Yeah, well, it sucks that 3 of these guys are at Ohio State, man. But best team money could buy, apparently.
It doesn't. It's awesome. It sucks to go back and relive the fact that we just can't win games. It's absolutely insane.
But you got these kind of positions where it's like there's that dude, and then there's a drop off to like the next guy where you're like,
it's similar to the class. We're talking about the 107, and I do think, Mike, it's already becoming pretty clear to me. I have it at 104 in a tier break, even in Superflex, and it's because, like I talked about maybe in a previous episode, but just to give you a context, the quarterback position doesn't feel as leverageable at the current moment, and people are almost willing to go against some of the principles we would have maybe 2 or 3 years ago, especially where it's like they'll stick and pray with their quarterback too for the whole season, right? So 104 would be my tier break, and then like this 107 number I think is going to be 107 and right around there, 108 maybe 106. We're gonna get questions until the draft happens and the NFL draft is over, and then their drafts are happening about those questions. That's where the tier really falls off. And if you think about that in a lot of other classes, that combo normally doesn't start till like the 111, right? And the 24 class really deep. Let's say the early second, right? But like we're having that conversation middle of the first round here.
Yay!
Fun. Yay. Price check on Travis Etienne and Superflex best ball. 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 3 flex. Mike, where would you put his price check at?
Late first in this class.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he's definitely a first, especially class dependent. I think if you're going to like the 27 class, you just give me any first, and I'd probably take the first, unless you're telling me like, hey, I'm a really strong contender and I need bodies and I'm gonna stay competitive this year. Mike, I'd say at the moment, go ahead.
I'm going to assume they bring him back, but they've also tried the last couple of years to replace him in Jacksonville. So
yeah, things have kind of the people in charge, so to speak, have been changing up though. So I mean, here's what I think, Mike. I don't want to assume it, because you know what happens with assumptions, right? I don't even need to make an assumption to make an ass of myself. All right, so when I do make an assumption, I tend to. Like, I think at the moment, though, I would probably agree. I would imagine he does land back there. But he's just in this weird tier. Like, best ball makes it tough, and it's a good question because of that. where, I want to have running backs in his range because touches are reliable, snap share is pretty reliable. There's only so many of those backs in the league realistically that you can pencil in. But man, I'm just thinking about it, and when I'm looking positionally, like trading him for players at the moment, right? So Travis Etienne is on KTC as asset 86. Basically, you get into that 70-80 range, Mike. You get into the any first range realistically, like the late first typically. So, but if I'm thinking about the assets coming after him, anywhere like, dude, Gadsden, Sadiq, Pearsall, Denzel Bott, like, dude, I'm taking even the risk of Etienne going elsewhere pretty comfortably ahead of a lot of these other names. Michael Wilson, I'm probably, price check is probably, I would say, like, again, generic pick, late first. In this class, you probably got to give me a 107 or a 108 realistically for me to try to want to trade him. And if it's not that, he's probably more of a hold at the moment because of the market in just there's not a lot of upside, I think, at the moment in trading away a player like him at this time.
That's the weird thing we mentioned in another show talking about it, but the running backs led warp, for this past year. It was a running back warp year. But it was like the big six and then everybody else.
Other person wants Odunze. Nah, I wouldn't do this personally, man.
What, Etienne or Odunze? Give me Rome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was saying I wouldn't do this. Don't do this.
No, I do that. I mean, while he did finish warp 11 overall, 27.
Oh,
it's
cool.
Like
I didn't even know you recently found us. Appreciate that, man.
It wasn't a very sexy warp. You know what I mean? Like,
who?
Because after the big
Etienne?
six, Etienne,
right.
Yeah, like, I mean, points per game, you're talking, he was an RB1-ish in points per game, but it's like 14. You know what I mean? Like, you talked about that. It's a weird range where it's like we're almost any first. If I'm going to acquire him, I think I do it for a back end first in this class because I feel like if I fuck up and he signs at some shitty place and he's more of a timeshare 40-50% split back, and he's just a change of pace guy or whatever the fuck it is, I'm like, okay, well, that was probably worth like a early or mid second, for that type of back anyway. So I did lose out on some, but not a whole lot. If he signs back in Jacksonville and he's back to being a 70%er and he's giving me that 14, 15 points per game again in 26, I'm like, that was probably actually worth like the 107 in this class. So I made a little bit of money.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's why, for me, I would rather just, even if he goes elsewhere, hope that the production is going to be similar, maybe a little drop off, but he's not in like irreplaceable range as far as him being able to go elsewhere and do that. Big Noggin also says, how close is Nabers versus Genty in a best ball league? Here's what I would say. Your offer is Genty and Tucker for Nabers. A year ago, I think you could have made a stronger case for maybe Genty. I think at the moment right now, Genty has lost more value than Nabers has, despite Genty on the field and Nabers not. And I would say overall, thinking about it, if I'm talking about assets like these guys, right? These are cornerstone assets, you want to call them. These are top 20 players for sure. Like, listen, I've had Sean Tucker love, but it's nowhere. The piece that's going to get me over the top or to move the needle has to be completely out of the range of what Sean Tucker's net worth is and value in Dynasty for me to have a consideration. Otherwise, I'm just going to stay, honestly. Like, I don't have these two in the same tier, but if I was in the same tier, that would be where it is. Since Genty's on a lower tier, he definitely needs to be higher than Sean Tucker.
I mean, in startups, they're close to the same tier. You're talking 110 and 204, right? Like that's close enough to say it's close to the same tier. For me, it's a tier difference between the two. And the tier difference, I'm not, even in a best ball, it's like Sean Tucker just isn't enough to get me going. Like I need...
Where's the plus? This is,
I need a second. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I need a second. Like if you told me in a best ball league, I'll give you Sean Tucker and I'll give you Genty and I'll give you a second round pick. Sure. All right, fine. Fuck, close enough. I guess I'm a Nash and Genty fan now. But you're not going to come close to that because a lot of people realistically should be asking for, even in a best ball league, should be asking for Genty and a back end first for their Malik.
Yeah, in this class especially, right? Like you have to be an early second or a late first. Yeah, I think the other thing too is in a best ball there. If that was about best ball, I'd probably be a little more willing to go to the Genty side and the plus because I'm looking to, have a deeper team typically in a best ball league. In a lineup league, I probably don't even really entertain it all that much, frankly, unless it's getting serious as far as the plus. Corey, my guy, Super Chat. By the way, Super Chats are welcome. Super Chats are encouraged, and money will fly all over the screen, as well as to our YouTube taken away with half of the money. But it's all right. It's like Uncle Sam. 12-team, start 10, Superflex, 4-point passing touchdown, Mike, so that does matter for the quarterbacks. I've got the 104, the 105, the 110, and 11. Do you think Mendoza will be worth drafting in 4-point, or do I buy another quarterback? I have Lamar and Tua. I think it's a good question. And, Mike, what do you think?
I think he's definitely worth drafting, but you kind of loaded this one up. You got Lamar, which is awesome. You don't have a second quarterback.
That's the quarterback you want in 4. Here's the thing. The way I would view it this way with Superflex, right, in the current state, Mike, is in a format like this, now, Corey, if you want to drop, we can run the warp on it. My imagining this, I'd say 80% or more of leagues I've seen like this, unless the scoring gets really wonky, is going to tell me I'd like to have a Lamar, and in particular with 4-point, I really want to have a Lamar. And after that, it's kind of like, okay, I don't want to have Tua as my quarterback too, because he may not play at all. But I'm kind of even more comfortable in a 4-point passing touchdown, being willing to like play the bottom of the barrel the rest, because I don't think that the replacement level isn't that high. So I'm willing to draft Mendoza, like you mentioned, but I'll tell you the truth. I'm not. I don't think I would be touching him in this format at that 105 spot any longer.
I'm still going to draft him. If it's me, I'm drafting him at the 105 for sure. And then to answer the second part, right? Like I still draft him. I'll draft him at the 105, and then with that 110 or 111, I'm going to go buy another quarterback. Right? I'm going to buy another guy for my actual super flex spot. So Mendoza is going to end up being my third quarterback. We'll see how it goes, how it develops out. But good news for you, quarterback market being depressed and a lot of vets out there, easily attainable for the 110 or the 111. So you got a lot of options to go out, which I'm like, listen, if I'm looking at any type of competitive team in 26, these are guys I want. Kyler Murray, for example, people will be like, fuck yeah, dude, I'll definitely take the 110 for him. You can have him. Like, guy's never going to play again. 4-point passing touchdown, I don't give a fuck whether he's a good NFL quarterback or not. I care whether he's starting and he goes out and he runs for 400 yards and puts a couple in the end zone. Dak Prescott, I mean, his value is all over the map. People hate him because he's old and he plays for the Cowboys, which is kind of natural to hate him. Matt Stafford, we saw what he did last year. Like, that's something that you can attain for that. There's a lot of quarterbacks in that range. Jared Goff, Bryce Young potentially, if you want to take the shot on a younger guy like a Penix or a J.J. McCarthy, for sure. I'm going to add another quarterback to this roster, the whole point, on top of Mendoza. And now I'm sitting with Lamar, that other quarterback I had, and Mendoza sitting as my third.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely on the same page on the latter part. And I think the reason I would say buying the other quarterback is because there is such a long list, and I think that's part of why the market is the way it is, where – do you feel like you have an elite quarterback too? No. But do you feel like Matt Stafford? Maybe. Like you might have a quarterback that gives you decent punching power, but is going to give you production that's stable across those other. Those. There's probably. Let me actually pull up instead of being hypothetical. I'd say right now there's probably 15 names I can give you roughly, maybe 12, that are in that range, which basically frees me up to. I think we agree on that point. The second part, though, is this. At 105, instead of taking Mendoza, where now you can point to Jackson Dart, you can point to other quarterbacks where their value does go up. There's possible for his value to just stay stagnant or go down. And the market basically right now for receiver, like use Egbuka for instance, right? Egbuka you took in the later part here. A lot of the receivers in the first round, let's say we get another first receiver, which I tend to believe that we will. Man, you're talking about they don't even have to come out necessarily. Egbuka did go crazy early, but his first season as a whole is good. It's just he really kind of farted there. It was really loud too, and it just didn't do much at the end. There's a lot more, I think, in the market as far as skill players for upside and basically trading that away and having that at my disposal versus even if Mendoza shows well and shows some signs, and the Raiders and the team needs a lot of help still, it just doesn't move the needle for you as much as far as the market goes. So I'm basically looking to say, yes, I'd like to give myself security and stability at the quarterback too. But if I'm playing the dynasty value game, there's a lot more upside in drafting a skill player at the 105 and the tradability later.
Somewhat, yes. My counterpoint's going to be two guys. I mean, we kind of overlook them, but think about where Bo Nix was after his rookie year and the ascension there. Yeah, you mentioned Jackson Dart. And currently Drake May, second overall asset being drafted, right? 2 years removed. And you're talking about a guy that was, the 103, 104 in rookie drafts, where we're talking about Mendoza going. So, like while some people may not like the prospect of Mendoza, a lot of people didn't like the prospect of Bo Nix, me being one of them. I thought he was terrible. And Jackson Dart wasn't the sexiest. If those guys come out and they hit and they surprise us, they can skyrocket just like the wide receivers. Maybe not as fast, maybe not as volatile, right? Like, because Ibuka, within like 4 weeks, kind of like you mentioned, all of a sudden we're like, is this a new wide receiver one overall in Dynasty, right? Like, it's a little more volatile. We saw how it settled out, but I'd say over the course of a season, you want to fast forward a full year. I mean, the shot of like a Lemon, a Tate, or a Tyson versus a Mendoza, I think they have very similar ranges of outcomes, and I might even give it to the quarterback, even in a depressed quarterback market, because if we're so jaded by like what's happened with the quarterbacks that guys like Jackson Dart who do an iota of something, all of a sudden it's like, dude's second round startup pick for sure. Lock him in, top 8 quarterback asset. Let's go. So I'd say Mendoza does have his own upside case. It's just tougher to see because I think you and I both are kind of more lukewarm on them, and especially with the potential of being the Raiders after what we saw last year.
Sure.
We're like, I don't know how they fix this thing, but we could be surprised. We could be shocked.
Yeah, I think the tiebreaker for me basically is this. I cited Dart, and I agree. But I'm not saying they don't have the room for ascension. The problem is I think the upside does lean hotter and quicker to the skill players, and it makes it. This is the big thing to me. It's the cash feeling and the capital of that. Like in a start 10 like this, right? There's 2 spots that are super flex, and at the moment, it's not like it used to be where, oh my gosh, if I don't have a quarterback, I have to move mountains to get one. People don't feel that way. So essentially, you also have to find the buyer. Basically, everybody's in the market for a wide receiver. Everybody's in the market for a running back all the time. People aren't always in the quarterback market. People may always feel like, I don't need to go get that. So it makes it, to me at the moment, the way I would play it, the upside I think lies to the point you made. It's a little quicker and burns hotter in a first-round pick at 105. There's just so much, I think, upside in where that can move early on with not a lot of movement. With Mendoza, not saying he couldn't end up killing it, but do you find a buyer for what that price point even ends up being? It's a lot harder, I think, typically.
My next question for you then, though. Mm-hmm. I think we both kind of assumed that we're talking about the 105 if it was to be Mendoza. We wouldn't do the 105.
Yeah, well, and at this point, it basically, if you stayed and picked, let's say, it's semantics because you have both.
As it stands right now, who the hell would you take at the 105?
The best part is I wouldn't make that decision right now. There'd be no point. I don't know what the draft capital is. I'm assuming, or I'm thinking about the fact that there's still a chance that there's another receiver that isn't those 3, in the first round, or even in the early part of the second, top 50, let's say.
You're talking like a Brazel, a Branch, Denzel Boston.
Denzel Boston, right, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Because I definitely don't think it's going to be a running back.
Well,
yeah. I hope so.
Maybe it's his teammate Price. No, I don't think it's a running back either. It'd probably be, Boston. I don't know. I mean, some people are somewhat bullish on Daniel Jeremiah said some pretty good things about Omar Cooper. I think there's other
we got to talk about that one too. That's going to be an interesting one. Omar Cooper. He's going to be an interesting one.
Cooper Jr. Yeah. Actually, I'm doing next week a mock draft with Seth and Debro from Fantasy Pros. I'm doing that at the moment right now. I'm kind of it gets gross quick, man. And it makes you think about this 107 a little differently. But I do think the 105 here. Now let's say like nobody met that criteria. Like there was no name clearly. Maybe there I would take Mendoza, but I think at the moment I would keep myself open from locking him in this format, especially if there's a first round receiver that is, even let's call it a top one of those early parts of the second round, top 5 to 7 picks, if that's a receiver, maybe even there.
Damn, that's harsh, man. The number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft.
It's the 4 point per passing touchdown in the market currently today. Because I will say this though, I don't view if I viewed Mendoza, Mike, and I thought this was the case, and I could end up being wrong on this, but if I thought Mendoza had a little more of that Jackson Dart scootability, I think I'd probably be having a different conversation here completely too. I don't view him as a guy that gets to that threshold number very realistically.
Understandable.
But I think you have the case right now. It's good conversation, not necessarily a guarantee right or wrong answer for it. Is Christian Watson just a player that will have a few games a year, and that is just it? Is he flex worthy, or should I be trying to package him and move up for a better flex? It's a good question. I think I think the way you ask the question and the way I phrase it kind of is yes, I think we should be viewing him as a boom or bust wide receiver, right? He's going to have a few big crazy games because he has the long speed and he has a good quarterback that can get it to him. Between inconsistency and injuries plaguing him typically, I don't think it's a smart bet to bet on him being more than that. So I don't have a problem necessarily, depending on the format, flexing a boom or bust receiver. So I'd say it's okay. It'd be okay to flex him. It just kind of would be format dependent. And are you in a position to basically make that move of saying, all right, I don't want to have Christian Kirk in my lineup on a regular basis?
Christian Watson. Yeah.
Christian Watson, sorry.
This season was actually like a make or break it for him because he's just kind of been hanging around for 3 years. This past year, though, you saw an uptick in everything: fantasy points, target share, the whole works across it, and not so much like Antoine Pierce, which is kind of hilarious. Not so much like Antoine, where it was like, listen, every time that he goes off, he's not in my lineup, he's on my bench. Christian Watson was a little bit more, I'm going to put him in my flex and just ride it out. And,
sure.
It wasn't as much bust. You had some of the boom weeks, but it wasn't as much bust. It was a little bit more consistent. I'm interested to see if he can capitalize and keep growing on it in this offense as he gets older. Now, the problem is his prospect dynasty clock is running out. Dude's almost 27 at him, so we're 1 year away.
Well, yeah, and we're also keep this part in mind too. Watson was very much in the 22 class and very much in the same type of an ilk of the 26, where it's like, maybe you took him because the class was the way the class shook out.
I would say though, we just had this question about Travis Etienne. I would say I'd much rather spend that later first on a Christian Watson type, which I don't think you actually have to. I don't think he comes or sniffs it, because your points per game, your production is eerily similar. Like I can find those guys at running back a hell of a lot easier than I think I can find those kind of guys at wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like at least guys with a decent floor. Like I'm talking like a 6, 7, 8 point per game floor, but could also deliver me a 24-point week on any given week. I think I could find it's harder for me to find those wide receivers in that range for that price point who are that consistent but also have booms versus just finding Tony Pollard for dude, I need 12 points out of my running back this week. Fuck. There's all kinds of Tony Pollards and James Connors just laying around people don't give a shit about. Sure. They cost way less. I think I would rather spend it on a Christian Watson type than a Travis Etienne.
I get you. I mean, I don't necessarily have a strong opinion of going one way or the other there. I mean, I just feel like, the 6 or 7 point floor is where that basically 6 points, 7 points in PPR is going to put you at wide receiver 50. It's that ain't no fucking floor to me. I don't care if you give me 0 or you give me 6, it doesn't really affect whether my team's doing much different. So, although he did, I think this year have. I should look. It was 4 or 5 pretty big weeks, but that's kind of my point. Is I think he's like a, how about a members mark? He's a members mark. Speaking of Costco, 4. He's a members mark. Jameson Williams. That's the way I would view him. And I think the problem with that is there though, Mike. That basically puts me at I'll put him in my lineup. He probably is a flex consideration, but I don't think he's ever going to get your point earlier. I don't think he's ever going to get back in market that Oh shit! It's Christian Watson. So to me, he's a little bit more of a stuck, parked asset on my team.
Well, we only say 4 big weeks, but that's 4 big weeks in 10 games. Because remember, he's coming off of that ACL injury.
What's his average of games per year? That's kind of to my point. He's almost guaranteed to miss 2 to 4 games a year.
Yeah, 14, 9, 15, and then this past season, 10 games.
There you go. I mean, you average that out, it's probably, I maybe was exaggerating slightly, but probably not much. He's missing probably 4 games a year there.
Right. At least on a plus note, his target share was the best it was of his career. His points per game was the best of what his was. We talk about.
But why? They drafted Matthew Golden, he didn't do anything, and then Jaden Reed was out for all that time too.
We talk about points
per
game.
And Tucker Kraft got hurt. Fuck, I forgot. That's right.
We talk about points per game for like Chris Olave delivering you a wide receiver 1 season, a very good one. Now on the back end of that, we're talking a very good upper end mid wide receiver 2 season on points per game out of Christian Watson for far different price point.
Yeah, but Chris Olave was competing against nothing pretty much entirely, and we know why, because Chris Olave is the one you want there. Watson has, outside of that window of like everybody's dead, has not really commanded that target share on a consistent basis either. So as I'm starting to talk myself through this even, I think I'm getting further from feeling that comfortable. Now, I do think I'd be okay with drafting him at certain points, and I think to me it's just a point of, okay, I'm good with Christian Watson as a flex if I need to in a certain format. He's probably going to be priced appropriately. But I would just have other plans. I would think about having other potential flex spots that are, or flex considerations that aren't him, because I do think the injury reliability is another problem. Not to mention there's a case to be made that Green Bay addresses it again, and that Watson doesn't necessarily get the same snap share and target share. Well, snap share will stay high, but target share that he got at the end of the year last year. All right, good question though. I like that one. So you'd rather have one of McCarthy, Sanders, Fields over Kyler. Oh, this is, I think, talking with people in the chat. But we did have some Kyler back and forth here. Would you rather have McCarthy, Sanders, Fields, or Kyler right now, Mike?
Kyler, then McCarthy, then Sanders, then Fields.
Yeah. See, can I tell you the weird part is that this kind of gives me that same how do I put it? This quarterback conversation we continue to have and probably will keep having at times this offseason. This right here makes me feel a lot of those things. Like, yikes, man. I want Kyler probably ahead of all of them, but I don't necessarily at cost, right? I'd almost just give me what is the cheapest option of these guys. I definitely have my ranking. I would put Kyler, then I would put McCarthy, then I would put Sanders, then I'd put Fields. So I think that's what you said as well. But Mike, if you told me maybe aside from Fields, I think Fields would need to cost a lot less. But Kyler, McCarthy, pay you told me I'm going to pay similar for all of them, I'd be fine. I'd be fine at the moment. Sanders, at least we need to see what's going to happen there. They're talking Watson again. Who knows? The Browns organization's a disaster. But
I'd say Kyler and McCarthy tier above those other 2 guys.
That's probably fair.
Probably Sanders a tier above Fields. Just because
at the moment, yeah.
At the moment, because I'm looking at who's actually going to start fucking. You can't score fantasy points if you.
Well, that's what worries me about Shedeur is like, it shouldn't be that difficult to say yet, but it is for the way that they run the team over there.
Dude, imagine that. Everyone who held on to their Christian Watson share or their Deshaun Watson shares or picked them up off of waivers for nothing. I was like, hey, I might get like.
So you're saying
games
there's a chance?
There's a chance, bud. He's not dead yet. What's dead may never die, right?
There you go.
So you like that one?
I do. I have the 105 in so many drafts, and I'm terrified of that pick. I feel like I may get Mendoza in every league there. I'm going to tell you the truth. I think more often than not in Superflex, that's probably going to be correct. I would say, though, depending on the format, it's not necessarily a horrible thing. And in this class, like, we don't have the complete picture yet, so there may not even be much of a true discussion of someone else there. But I do think you'll see maybe in more heavier scoring formats, you might see Mendoza end up getting ahead of the 105. But what's your thoughts, Mike?
I'm confidently and happily drafting Mendoza at 105 everywhere. Like, just, okay, well, this is what you left me. That's fine. I'll take the first overall pick at quarterback. I know all the concerns, down year for quarterbacks, Superflex leagues in shambles, Superflex quarterback market all down. If this kid comes out and he surprises at all, I'm like, well, this was found money. Because my alternatives right now, as it stands right now, Adam, is like, I hope Denzel Boston gets first round draft capital. I hope Chris Brazzell gets it. I hope Zachariah Branch gets it, but I don't know. We could be left with guys who are picked in the 40s or the 50s in the second round at best.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is no fucking question, man. You want to go back to the hit rate charts? Like, yes, we do miss some of them. That's why there's a percentage on it. But S-tier drafted quarterbacks got a pretty goddamn good hit rate on them themselves, and you're letting me get it at the 105. Smash.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think in most formats, I'd be okay with it. 4 point, like start 9, start 10, 4 point per passing touchdown worries me a little more because of the way that even if he does well, but he doesn't smash points per game, what does it necessarily give me for tradability? But I think at the moment, there's really no clear discussion that says he should do anything but take Mendoza in probably the majority of those formats, regardless. So, yeah, we'll see. Also, good point by DB. We'll see what Kubiak's offense does. Malik Willis is worth what 26 pick today? Mike, let me ask you, what are your thoughts on Malik Willis? Let's talk about that first, and then we'll go into the 26 pick, because he has a warm to probably hot market at this point, especially because the class overall is not the most appetizing and the depth of it.
I thought he was going to have a market. So I'm pretty sure right after he started that game for Jordan Love, and he came out and he just wowed us. The game we kind of talked about where we're like, man, he left last game with a shoulder injury. I don't even know if he's going to be able to play in this game. And then he just came out and he fucking dazzled the following week. Just absolutely lit it up. And I think I put in the Discord right at the time, I was like, this motherfucker's getting paid next year. Like, he is getting paid. Some team's going to make him the starting quarterback. Like, for sure. No question. Just with the way the QB market is, all the teams that need one. I don't know if it's necessarily as hot as, like, what the reports are saying, because they're talking, like, dude's locked in at, like, 30 mil a year for his next contract. Was like, holy fuck. Like, I thought for sure it'd be more like Sam Darnold, Justin Fields got last year, something in that ballpark. Russell Wilson, for example, maybe another one, those kind of deals. But yeah, you want to talk about it? I'm pretty sure he's guaranteed a starting job. No question. He can move. We definitely see that. He's got that Konami part down pat for sure. For fantasy purposes, he's worth what, 26 pick today? 107?
Well, yeah, and that's where it's kind of interesting too. Is like, I would agree, it's probably in that range. Here's my take though, Mike. Right now at the moment, because I agree. I do want to see. I'll say this: you see a lot of reports, you see a lot of stuff that maybe, it's like you're following the crumbs, and they all kind of seem to tell you that. I don't know that, Mike, we're going to guarantee. I don't know he's guaranteed for $30 million in a multi-year contract. I think there's a chance you might get like kind of a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal where it's front loaded for a first year or 2 years, and you're going to give him a guarantee of, let's say, 50 or 60. But I do think though that does mean he's going to get a chance to be a starter this year. So that part I agree about. I think there's a probability though, or a chance still, if he goes to a team that's not necessarily the greatest and obviously needs quarterback help, you could have a Fields type of experience realistically. That's the downside. Now, I'm not telling you that's guaranteed to happen, but I think, Mike, I kind of view it similar to like how I viewed it with Fields last year. I think there's a chance that and if he plays the whole season, I know Justin Fields didn't necessarily work out all year, but gosh, man, that's a guy that I want to put in my lineup. So at cost, I'd be much more willing to spend a 107 on a Malik or a 108 or whatever that would be, somewhere in that range for a Malik Willis, and try to get other position players for my 105 type pick personally. Just because Malik Willis has the crazy Konami code in his range of outcomes. Like, that's what I'm kind of chasing more often than not in quarterback scoring.
Understandable. I know it was brought up in our Discord.
Would you actually pay that 107 or 108, or would you want to hold on right now? What would you pay up?
I'm much more comfortable with the late first.
With you.
Yeah. Like late first, 110, 111, 112. Send it.
Would you?
Fuck
So
it.
right now at the moment, you kind of holding on to the, let's call it 108, 107, 109?
Because I kind of want to see how that plays out, especially with the combine this week. And
Right. I want to
see how things shake out with this first.
That's a good call. I'm kind of with you there. I think because there's enough chance of movement up. Remember, Mike, I think back to 24, and the reason, listen, the class obviously ended up being pretty damn goated, and we know how good and deep it was. But I just think back to the combine and 24 specifically, right? Ladd McConkey had a totally different view, completely different view of who he was after he went out and was like, oh shit, this ain't no just regular white boy. You know, he fucking killed the combine. He ran elite level speed, right? Even Keon, who had a slow, the slow 40 and the concerns there, he killed the gauntlet. So it's like, damn, like there's these there's multiple drills and types of things and the way in which players go out there and perform that can boost their needle up. And I think in this class, like, because it's so overall stinky, depressed in value, there's probably inherently going to be at least, 4 to 5 names that probably give you some sort of that type of a buzz. And that's exactly the pick number you're talking about there, 106 to 109. I think anything 110 and beyond, I'd probably be willing to send for a quarterback type like Malik, though.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Thoughts on Bashaw Tootin next season? Yikes. Well, I mean, I don't think it's any different than. Let me not completely dismiss it like that, because Mike, what if Etienne doesn't go? What if Etienne does go elsewhere?
I think they bring somebody else in.
They might, but it doesn't. It could be that Tootin gets a real shot at it. So, and also I would say this: even if he doesn't get a shot at it, you know what his market's going to do if Etienne goes elsewhere? Through the fucking moon.
So with that being said, because you're right, if Etienne does sign somewhere else, doesn't get brought back, it's going to go through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
I would say as it stands right now, definite hold. I'm not buying shares because I'm not really.
Yeah, you don't want to be speculative buying at the cost at the moment, right? Agreed.
Nope. I'm not selling my shares because there's like, hey, there's a chance. There's a fucking chance.
Yeah.
I think I would hold. And I think if I don't have them on my roster, I'm staying away. I'll let y'all have your fun, do your thing. I'm good over here. Probably the most damning thing to me was he had that massive fucking breakout where you're like, and then he got hurt right away.
I was going to say, the injury really, the thing that makes it so a lot tougher to evaluate or kind of give feelings to it is, like, obviously the year was disappointing. I'm not here to sugarcoat that, but it's like, damn, you couldn't know. It would have been nice to just see him healthy through the rest of that game and actually see what he would have been given and if he could have eaten into the workload or not. Because, I don't know, it feels a little bit like he just have no idea. And I'll just say this, though. The rest of it was flaccid still for the rest of the year. So he just disappeared after that. Like, it was nothing, which sucks. That part, I will say, the way that game trended, the way he looked in that game, and then it felt bizarre. It felt very bizarre, honestly. Yeah. Jag's doing weird things all year. Yeah. So that's why I wear a running back from years and years ago in Jacksonville. Those are my thoughts, Sean. Like, if I got him, I'm holding him. If I don't have him, I'm not buying right now. I'll tell you the truth. I think is I think he feels, and he's Trey Benson like, honestly. There you go. Or Jonathan Brooks for like the third year in a row. He's Trey Benson like, because and Trey Benson, what we have at the moment is what we have. I'm just saying, if you can try to compartmentalize, think about it as Trey Benson going into year 2. There's a lot of volatility and upside if things were to trend right for him, but there's absolutely no guarantee or floor really for the prospects of Tootin. I do think his draft capital is enough in this market, like we've talked about before. He's probably going to have a somewhat decent floor throughout the year, but I don't know. It's not one I want to get overly aggressive on and betting on right now. I'm glad you brought up Trey Benson, right? So, listen, we got the combine. One of the best parts of the combine is all the executives, coaches, etc. Like, they have their media sessions, and we get lots of information that comes out, right? And I see people doing wild stuff. We talked about it last week, the Travis Hunter thing. We're going to get some more wild shit coming out of this one.
But I wanted to run a little exercise, and I'm glad you brought up Trey Benson because
Okay.
I went back and I pulled a few articles from this time last year after the
Beautiful.
executive portion, the interviews. So this one comes from Matthews Berry's 25 Things He Learned at the Combine from last year. And I personally asked Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gehling during his press conference about expectations for Trey Benson in year 2. And he said he hopes Benson can light it up in year 2 and the Cardinals have 2 number 1 backs. I just point all that out to say, like, I see all these tweets about, J.J. McCarthy might not have a job next year. Michael Penix might not have a job next year. Like, everyone wants to read into these combine interviews, and I'm just telling you, kind of like the Travis Hunter stuff. Most of this stuff is complete bullshit, full of shit. Like, these coaches, these executives are absolutely full of shit. So when you brought up Trey Benson, I was like, I remember reading this one. Trey Benson was the Cardinals got 2 number 1 backs, man. He's going to light it.
Yeah, you know what's funny is he did at least like have the reins kind of going his way, and then injury, nothing. I'd say the one thing though is like, man, I guess it's a good talking point too, for like Benson, right? That's kind of what I'm talking about at that 105, but it's a totally different price range. But in general, forget the fact that it's a number 1 quarterback, and I'm not talking about that point anymore. But I'm just saying the skill players, right? It doesn't have to be the craziest draft capital prospect profile for the fucking price to go crazy on noise, let alone if they do anything on the field. So that's the wild part about it,
Hey, I want to highlight some of these because they're so fucking good, Adam.
Oh yeah,
they're so good because we forget. I got some great ones. Houston Texans at this time. What we learned about them after the combine press conference.
So these are late February type blurbs, or March or whatever. Okay.
Yep. These are from the exact same time, just last year.
Okay. Love it.
We haven't had on-field drills at the combine yet. These are what everyone's reporting. The reporters who are there, the Matthew Berrys of the world. This one's from CBS Sports. Houston Texans will heavily invest in offensive line this offseason.
Well, they hopefully are saying the same things this year,
I got another one down here. Las Vegas Raiders. Pete Carroll, not looking for any grace period. We're going to be competitive right out of the gate.
Mike, I'm telling you, that's where I was like, dude, this guy's become senile because that team was so far from competitive. My God.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers all but confirmed they're definitely bringing back either one of Russell Wilson or Justin Fields to be their starting quarterback in 2020.
Can I say this? To be fair, this time though, there's a case to be made. They thought they were. Justin Fields. It's crazy. Justin Fields basically said, "I'm good," and then somehow along the way, Tomlin was like, "Yeah, the rest thing, I'm kind of good too." So they got none of them.
Here's another one from Matthew Berry. He kept his more to the fantasy side, which I appreciate. Because, it's not so overarching. We're just narrowing it down to fantasy takes about this time of the year. As long as we're talking New York quarterbacks, there's rumors of the Jets trading up in the draft. But for what it's worth, the plan I heard emphatically was that Tyrod Taylor would be the Jets' opening day starter.
They didn't have Fields yet at that point, right? No. Okay.
Nope. Had signed him in free agency. Nope. Which his next point was, I'm also hearing the Steelers are going to keep one of their quarterbacks, and it's going to be Justin Fields.
Well, I think that was actually a correct source. I think the problem was the sources didn't have confirmed that, listen, Fields said, I'm cool. Like, how about this, though, real quick? In a startup with rookie players included, not picks, which I'd do them with picks, too. But I kind of like, let's mix it up. Let's just go ahead and throw them into the fire. Even before the draft, who is underrated and overrated without landing spots in draft capital or according to early ADP? It's a good question. I think here's what I would say about these. They also become dabbling in the rookies that are the unknown quantity becomes lottery type deal, right? Like,
yes,
it's you could end up losing it all, but you could end up having a freaking big boy home run. So.
And we've talked about that many times on episodes with these pre-NFL rookie drafts.
It's the same principle as a pre-NFL rookie draft, right?
Yeah, for every time that you got man, we had some massive hits.
Speaking of being burned by quarterbacks, 22 class. I mean, I still to this day need to make up for some of those guys, right?
Fuck you. I was going to start with the positives.
Okay.
All the
all right, that's fair.
the Sam Laporta 4th round picks.
Absolutely. The Tucker Crafts, right? Like, dude,
the Tucker Crafts.
Like, I got Tucker Craft in I think 7 leagues, and then I got him on the wire in 2. So I had like 8 or 9 shares of Kraft, and at that point, that was like half my portfolio, which I don't have anywhere near as many as that, but that was a nice hit. I love Tucker Kraft in that spot.
I wasn't going to talk about the Malik Willises, the Sam Howells, and the Matt Krause.
I was going to mention, without saying their names again, I was just going to mention the problem, but no. So, Mike, who do you think here? Do you have any names that you think at the moment are worth, shooting that home run shot on?
It's so tough to tell because we don't have that official landing spot stuff. But I will say, just kind of based on reports, I did a video on him. Listen, I think he's a very, very good player. But Mekhi Lemon might be a little bit too overvalued at this point because I don't think enough people are baking in the downside risk. While he had a fantastic year, we can't make him taller, right? We can't make him not a slot merchant at this time.
Well, Mike, think about JSN's a great in the NFL. We talked about this on a question previously, right? Like JSN at this time for his class, there's no way he's making it to 20, right? Like he was about as surefire as you thought probably was going to be for the class, especially locked into the top 10. So, like for Lemon, there's definitely I think a scenario where he goes 18, 20, 22. And at that point, it's like, okay, if he's going to be valued, forget about where Ibuka is now, but think about where Ibuka was in the draft process, right? Mm-hmm. How different that was. You're definitely overdrafting Lemon at the moment right now if that ends up being the case. So I agree with that point.
I can definitely tell you whoever the hell RB2 is, whoever it is, I don't overvalued. Overvalued because we don't fucking know.
Probably, I would say probably, but it also feels like so little people know maybe they're fading.
Maybe they're properly valued.
I probably tend to agree though. Mike, let me ask you: Is there when would you start doing the long shot? Let's call it approach here with this rookie class.
I think it's going to be with these wide receivers, and it's just going to be whichever one ends up the cheapest. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm saying, do you like for in the startup? Like, is there a round range where you're like, all right, you know what? It's kind of worth taking the upside swing because of what I'm really drafting as far as a known quantity.
9th, 10th round.
I was going to say, yeah. Round. You get me to double-digit rounds, Mike, I'm probably at that point, okay, let's really dabble a little more here, depending on who's.
Yeah, so like what I'm talking about here, Jake Ferguson, Monungai, Christian Watson, Brenton Strange, Adams, McLaurin, Higgins, Parker Washington, Jalen Warren, Alec Pierce, Penix, McCarthy, Tootin. These are your 9th and 10th round guys who are kind of in here. And it's like, listen, I don't know if Zachariah Branch gets first round draft capital, but at the fucking price point of picking between him and Antoine Pierce, like, give me the upside swing. Because if Branch gets first round draft capital here and I took him in the 10th round in February, he costs way more than that.
Right. Even if he ends up being a top 50 pick, you're probably going to have a boom, right?
Way up. You start to get to the 9th, 10th round, and you actually have to pick and put these names to the rookies. I'm much more apt to, let's start throwing fucking darts, boys. Let's just start because, oh shit, I missed out on the Zach Charbonnet. Who fucking cares?
Sharps has been someone that fucking probably for whatever you thought the miss was is giving you more than enough flexibility and points, I would say here's what I would say with this, right? When I get to Mike's point, like 8th, probably more like 9th round, but for me, double digits, let's call it. I'm definitely very, very much in my queue with these rookies. I think but what I will say, is I'm probably being a little bit, how do I want to put this? I'm probably counting the number. Like I'm probably being pretty, I'm going to be conservative with the number overall, right? I've done this before in other startups where like I kept shooting that shot. You don't want too many flyers in lottery tickets because you don't want your round 10 to round 15 to have the potential to all flame out. That's how literally the bottom of your roster gets fucking crushed completely. Because when you get to 15, 16, now everybody's a lottery ticket, and you don't have any guarantee. So probably, just be mindful of how many you select. But I do think it's worth taking some upside swings. Mike, I think I'd be curious to see in these where guys like Omar Cooper specifically would go. A guy like KC Concepcion. You said Zachariah Branch, maybe even Malachi Fields. Guys like that, I think, are probably names I would be looking to. I'm willing to take a lick if I miss, but I get some upside on the other side too.
Yep. I'm definitely shooting my shot more on those, especially those wide receiver types. And to your point about the running backs, when I said probably whoever RB2 is, listen, if you're talking like somebody took Jonah Coleman, for example, in round 6, but then we get to round 11, round 12, and there still hasn't been another running back taken.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm the fucking guy. Listen, I think you're wrong. I think Emmett Johnson's RB2 or Jadarian Price is RB2 or whoever the fuck it is. I'm going to start hammering those fucking guys.
Right. Yep, with you.
Speaking of running backs, I got more bad combine draft takes for you.
Yes. What?
Bucks can't stop raving about Bucky Irving. Going to be a locked-in true alpha #1 running back next year. No question.
Well, I mean, man, the injuries definitely to the position suck. But
fair. All right, let's go to the second point. Follow up to that. Perhaps the most interesting part of Tampa Bay running back discussion was about Sean Tucker.
Yeah, I was waiting for this part. The Sean Tucker noise has never left, man.
He has the talent to be a #1 running back in this league, said a team source. The issue is he's stuck behind Bucky Irving. So I'm reading between the lines here in the conversation, which lends me to believe that they don't like Rachaad White at all, so expect a highly diminished role from him. Miss.
R.I.P. But then the worst part, Mike, is not, Rachaad White took that same role, and now he's off to the races to the new place. I don't even know. I'm probably good on Rachaad White, honestly, moving forward. Mike, let me ask you about another running back on the screen.
Okay.
Scatworth at 27 first. Got effed all 4 RBs. Oh, I've got fucked for all RBs. So his roster's solid. He needs running back depth, it sounds like.
Not to me, but for Dynasty market purposes, yes. A lot of people love him. I don't know. Maybe it's my personal vendetta against 4-4 in the trap or whatever the fuck.
Hey, listen, it's okay to admit biases. It's all right. We all have our biases, good and bad.
It's my bias against somebody who's trying to get into the exciting whites club and he's not allowed. Okay? No. Cannot. You say things like 4-4 in the trap, I'm out. Okay. I don't like his play style. I don't know if it lends to long-term success. Did that get him injured this past year? No, it was something completely different, which is hilarious because if you would have told me that, hey, Cam Scadabo was out
on
for
Halloween
the rest
too,
Yeah, I would have told you that Cam Scadabo was out for the rest of the year because of a pass catch on the outside,
lower body injury, right? Near the sideline.
I was like, oh, that dude got his 7th concussion for sure. No.
Here's what I would say. Oh, go ahead. I didn't realize you were still
the other point. You saw Tyrone Tracy in his absence step up and play extremely well. Worthy start almost every single week there down the stretch. Tyrone Tracy's extremely talented in his own right. I think it's just a messy backfield where if you're like, listen, one guy's kind of got a play style that maybe doesn't lend to long-term success and health, and the other guy is very productive in his own right. I think it's just I'm more like, let me just stay away from the whole situation in general and go shopping elsewhere, especially for this price point. But I don't think I'd be comfortable enough sending a 27 first random, even if it was on the later side, Adam, for Cam Scadabo at this point.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I would say, right? A lot of the excitement you talked about with the Giants, that it really, in my estimation, came in that 5-week window when, Dart and Scadabo were on their crazy bullshit with a lot of just. But what I'll say with him is he showed a couple things to me. One, that upside in fantasy with. There were some weeks where he had monster target volume, right? And there was weeks where he had really great snap share and overall touches were crazy. So the reason I say that and talk about it is he still, I think, while he's at this price right now, which is RB17, right? Crazy right now, Mike. He's ahead of Saquon. on Q trade cut. Think about that for a second, just real quick. All right, but he's shown, I think, enough for me to believe the Giants want to use him in a primary back role. I'll call it, maybe not a bell cow. Let's say. Okay, I'm not saying they're going to go away from Tracy completely, but he's shown that to me. I think it's a gamble. I will say, if it's me personally, I definitely cannot do it for my own 27 first unless you're an absolute so star-studded. There's no chance. It's the Titanic. You can't fucking sink it. Otherwise, I don't want to send my flexibility for this, for damn sure. I would say sending someone else's pick here is a maybe if you're telling me it's like a damn good team and it's not your own. So I'm not giving up my flexibility. It's a team that's very, very projected late, like locked and loaded. That's probably it. Like I could understand doing it. I still think there's some upside to be captured if he plays and plays well early in the season at some point, or it's when he gets on the field. Then it makes sense, Mike. But for value increase, but I would say that's my probably like. I can understand it. It's not something I probably am doing in large volumes. Or I'm not trying to go crazy on this investment here.
You and I are probably in agreement. You know, if the price is the same, Saquon Barkley or Cam Scatterbo, who do you want?
Nah, I mean, I'm taking Barkley there. Sorry, guys.
All right, now I'm going to ask you some other ones that may be tougher. Javonte Williams, fresh off a contract, by the way. Yeah, congratulations, Javonte.
Yeah. Any of these other names, Mike, I'm probably going to go with Scatterbo, to be honest with you, if you're going down this list.
Scat over Javonte.
Yeah, for me personally. And here's what I would say. Javonte, Mike, was a really nice story early in the year. He still had a good year, and I do like the contract. He definitely, I think, secured a little more value. But honestly, Mike, I'm a little worried moving forward that he's the second part of the year, which was really just replaceable, you know? RB2 across the way. So, and the difference there, let me just say this last piece, which is going to give Scatterbo the edge over an Etienne, over of Javonte. The upside in the market and flexibility as far as trades. Javonte is never going to let me get to a tier, potentially, where Scatterbo could let me go, you know?
If I'm even considering selling a 27 first, it's for production, so I don't give a shit about the market at that point. You know what I mean? Like at that point, I'm locked in. I'm trying to get production or points on my team.
Well let me say let me say that this is another thing to think about. Right now it's February, so for me, there's no world where I'm doing a 27 first for any of those players right now. Period. So that's why Scatterbo meets this list. If we're talking about fucking the season, we have a totally separate combo.
That's very good. That's very good. Good point to bring up because yes, we're in February. Fuck that shit. Yeah. RJ Harvey, listen, if you want to scat over him, I don't hate you there. But like Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry, like if you're telling me I gotta buy, I'm fucking taking those two guys.
Yeah, if you want to make exceptions to the rule, right? You know, Saquon, Henry, Jacobs, because of the way the market is currently going to keep assets like that depressed for a while. That'd be my exceptions. But Mike, those are the upside of upside swings because of age depressed numbers, right? But I know there's a chance to bounce back like crazy from production.
Yep. All right. I got 3 more bad combine takes for you, Adam.
Okay.
Dalton Kincaid's lack of production last year was strictly because he was more injured than folks realize. He's going to be a major sleeper next year. Or be injured a lot more.
I was saying, well, he's a sleeper still, you know. To be fair,
this was the creme de la creme of it. When Ravens GM Eric DaCosta was asked about Mark Andrews, it sure sounded like he's played his last down in Baltimore.
Damn.
I love that one. That one fucking it gets me all warm and fuzzy inside because yes, people really did believe that shit. We had probably questions on AMA. What do you do with Mark Andrews, man? It's going to be Isaiah Likely. All him. Like, Andrews getting traded, bro.
You know what's so crazy? I was thinking about, not to dismiss the point about Andrews, but more, I'm thinking about Kincaid. And it's like, man, it feels like not all that long ago he was this young, exciting asset talent. A lot of the feels still, I think, are there as the excitement. But, this guy, he's 26 now.
Damn.
Like, if you think about this, right? even let's say because last year he did put together some really good weeks, right? Now, granted, at the tight end position, it's a little bit more fugazi. You don't have to do necessarily a lot to be that, but he had some really good weeks, so he showed some promise. But it almost feels like with Kincaid, it's like this story of, see, Fannin is more of an exception where you have like a consistent, good, locked-in rookie year. But by the time you get Kincaid to lock in production, it feels like, if it does happen, it's like, damn, that you lost that market tantalizing effect anyway now, you know?
And I got one last one for you, the creme de la creme, just to piggyback on last week, which, listen, we got a lot of comments in the YouTube. Keep them coming. I love it. I love it after the show. We had comments on air about how we're fucking idiots on our Travis Hunter thing. But last year, this is from Matthew Berry himself. Liam Cohen said the passing game will go through Brian Thomas Jr., which makes it right now, Brian Thomas Jr. is already on the short list for potential ride or die candidacy for me. Looks like you died.
I mean, Matthew Berry's ride or dies have had, their ups and downs. He's had some great ride or dies. He's had some rough ones. I think he ended up going with Hampton last year too, which was really tough because of the injuries. Just fucked you. But yeah, BTJ, RIP, man. I was trying to talk people at this time of the year. I will admit I didn't really have a lot of counterpoints negatively to BTJ, other than the quarterback play. It was later in the year with Mac Jones and stuff like that. But this time last year, man, people were trying to tell me BTJ and Malik are the same thing, and I vehemently didn't agree with it. But I didn't have I couldn't strictly give you numbers that say this is 100% why, other than Malik Nabers' target share. The Malik Nabers pro side to me was more the argument, and Malik Nabers got hurt, Mike, and didn't do anything all year. And you see where he's at now. Unfortunately for BTJ, it's like, dude, the worst case scenario came true. So
I just bring all that up as a, in addition to last week's episode on Travis Hunter, where I said, sometimes these reporters, these executives, these whoever, especially at this time of year, definitely mostly full of shit. Okay. Like these reports mean almost absolutely nothing. Because if you were to believe everything that went on this time last year, we were never going to see Mark Andrews in Baltimore. Dalton Kincaid's going to be a major sleeper. The passing game in Jacksonville is going to funnel through Brian Thomas Jr. Trey Benson's going to be an RB1. So let's keep it rolling here. Justin Fields will still be playing in Pittsburgh because they're definitely re-signing him. We don't know where the fuck Sam Darnold's going. He's going to be the odd man out because neither the Vikings nor anybody else wants him. And Aaron Rodgers probably ain't playing football in 2025. Did I miss anything there?
Yeah, it's noise. It's a lot of noise season. I mean, somebody's got to report the stuff. I do think it's kind of interesting because I think sometimes people do just literally report what they're hearing, and it is also funny to me, Mike, even in high money, crazy, organizations like this. I think the dissension are the things that can end up changing in a couple months from what they're saying and what their plans go. Absolutely the same thing. I mean, you could see guys that literally, teams that totally change the way that they structure things and the way they move in the free agency, especially that, right in free agency, you make one move and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it might change the way you kind of make your moves in the draft too.
I do got one thing that's still chapping my ass, and I need your help. I need chat's help.
Nice. What do we got?
Listen, I feel like
what do you need? Some Vaseline?
That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. I feel like I'm having a major Mandela Effect moment right now. For anybody who doesn't know, like a Mandela Effect, is there a cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom logo? The answer is no, there's not, even though we think there is. Things like Fruit Loops, how it's spelled, that's a Mandela Effect. It's not spelled how we think it is. Shit like that. Omar Cooper Jr., you brought him up. I see Dan Orlovsky's hyping him up. Daniel Jeremiah is hyping him up. A lot of buzz out of Indy that they love him at the combine. He crushed interviews, the whole works. Potential first rounder. That's the hot name right now for fantasy purposes, right? Like, we love to see guys propelled. Am I fucking crazy though? I can't find it anywhere. I thought for sure here we're talking Super Bowl time, Senior Bowl week. Adam, He went to the Senior Bowl. Apparently, that's not true. I can't find him on the roster. Did not go to the Senior Bowl. I brought all that up to say I love the hype of him being up there, but I could swear to fucking God in the Discord or something, I saw or posted that there was measurements on Omar Cooper, and he only came in at 5'9". For fantasy purposes, that is a big fucking deal for us as far as grading wide receivers go and temper some of the expectations. But listen, apparently it doesn't fucking exist because I can't find it in the Discord. I'm having a Mandela effect here right now, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm with you, except for not on this. I don't remember that anyway.
Okay.
Now,
all right. I'm fucking crazy.
If you find the receipt, listen, tell me I'm crazy, please, because I don't remember it though.
Chad, if you find it that he's 5'9", vindicate me. Otherwise, I'm just going to chalk it up to the fact that I had eye surgery and I was on oxys and a shit ton of edibles.
Yeah, you didn't know what you were seeing, and there was a lot of other effects going into what you might have thought you saw. I don't
know why Omar Cooper and 5'9" is just sticking so vividly, but I might be completely full of shit.
Dale, damn it, Dale. I told
Thanks,
you
Dale.
to interrupt the man while he's talking. Favorite effing idiots on YouTube. Mike, to be honest with you, was that last week? That was awesome. I personally loved every minute of that part because the energy, but it was true. I mean, it's true. I don't have any problem with it. I'm a big idiot. That's all right. I have no problem embracing that part.
I've made it 39 glorious years on this earth being a fucking idiot.
I hope to make it to 39. I'm getting there soon, but I'm hoping to be an idiot for that whole time as well. Just showing some love. Appreciate you, Dale. Sinbad playing a
great.
Wait, say that again?
Exactly. Another fucking one. Another one.
What's your talk to me?
Was it? God damn it. Now Jay's got me all in my fucking thing. So there's a movie. It's either Kazam or Shazam. One of them's real and actually happened. And we're talking about Sinbad and Shaq. Okay? There's a movie where either Sinbad or Shaq plays a genie. It is called either Kazam or Shazam. I don't remember which one it is. Okay? But in a lot of people...
But okay, yeah.
But in a lot of people's fucking minds, there's another one with the other guy playing the other one, genie in the... whatever one it was.
Okay.
Shazam,
so the Mandela Effect. I got you.
Mandela Effect.
I wasn't following, but now I am. All right.
Which doesn't exist.
I'm caught up to speed now.
Even though if you go on like TikTok and you Google some of these Mandela Effects, people go down fucking rabbit holes. Like rabbit holes. I remember watching one on the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia thing.
Bro, I went and seen it in theaters. I'm not tripping.
See, exactly. People will go down these rabbit holes, but on the Fruit of the Loom one, I watched a TikTok where this lady got some like underwear from like 1992 and she fucking pulls out the tag on the underwear and that motherfucker's got a cornucopia in it. It's like,
wow,
dude, we're either living in the Matrix and they're just fucking with us.
Yeah, maybe there was some AI to the fucking thing. Who knows?
The Mandela Effects are real.
Dude, I down tier Justin Jefferson for BTJ and Javante, so I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. It's funny too, Rosie Pose Rose, where like at the time, right, that would have been considered risky, and the BTJ thing that hasn't worked out so far. But it's crazy because it only isn't viewed as like a colossal failure because Justin Jefferson wasn't not supposed to have the range of outcomes he just did this last year, where he barely gets 1,000 yards and like is incredibly replaceable all year. So at the same point, that's embracing variance, though, right? That we never like to admit the things that we're so sure of are not a guarantee. But like, if you told me going into this year, what would be more of a impossible feat, BTJ having a sophomore slump, or Justin Jefferson not being really very relevant,
falling off the face of the earth? Yeah,
it'd be easily fucking Jefferson. There's no fucking shot. I mean, we're betting. Speaking of idiots, we're going mortgage type shit on this. You know, we're in a rough spot here. You know, like it could be ugly.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have guessed the Justin Jefferson thing at all. BTJ sophomore slump, definitely probable.
Right. I was, and you could argue the merits of how much the slump was going to be, right?
Thank you, Corey. Corey Tom Realtor 3072. I appreciate you. Kazam with Shaq was the real movie.
That's what I thought. That's what I said. All right, good.
But Shazam with Sinbad, that's not a real thing. Even though I've seen a TikTok with like a fucking trailer.
Well, Jay went to the Jay. Forget the
Jay
trailer.
went to the
Jay
fucking
was
movie.
in the fucking theater. He probably has the movie ticket.
Some other ones in the chat they brought up. The Berenstein Bears. I've always called it the Bernstein Bears,
Yeah.
but it's Berenstein Bears. Darth Vader. What's his famous line, Adam?
I'm your father.
Never says it.
Really?
Nope.
Luke, I'm your father. He's never said that.
Never says it. Never. How the fuck do we remember this if it never happened?
Interesting.
These are the crazy things. Monopoly Man. Did he have a monocle? Yes or no? I tell you.
Are you sure about this? He never said that?
You never says it.
I feel like it was on Empire Strikes Back.
Nope. It is on Empire Strikes Back, but he never says those words. Luke, I am your father, even though that is the most quoted thing probably from Star Wars.
Oh, he said they're not in back-to-back thing. They're not connected at the same time.
No,
Luke part?
What he actually says is, no, I am your father.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
But he never says it. Luke.
He never says Luke. Yeah, all right. Fair enough. Gotcha. All right, got it.
It's fucking crazy shit. Curious George, did he have a tail? You're like, he's a monkey. Of course he had a tail. No, he never actually had a fucking tail.
Dude, I love when we go on our our off-topic stuff. And I'm trying to squeeze Red McMuffin in here. He's like, he's trying to, hey, following up to start up with rookies.
I appreciate you, Red McMuffin.
I got KCC and Price both in round 9 so far. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, those are the kind of guys.
I can get it. Here's what I would say. This is the point I was making earlier, though, Mike. I don't know if you're in agreement with this or if you'd like to play it a little more risky. I would just kind of be tallying up like I got 2 already now. Like I don't know if I want to get too crazy, especially in a class like this.
Don't make it your
rounds.
I was just gonna say your next 4 rounds or your next 5 rounds. I'm taking nothing but rookies, but I will say it's counterpoint, right? So he's doing one with you got to actually pick the rookie themselves, right? The name.
Yeah.
If I'm doing this,
the draft pick is totally different. Sure.
If I'm doing it with the pick, my next fucking 7 at this point. If no one else is gonna take them, I'm gonna take them all.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And you can still trade the pick. You don't have to even draft it. You could trade it on the clock. Yeah, but taking the name, Mike, this is a done deal. Like this is it. This is who you get. So I'm with you.
Peanut butter, another Mandela Effect one. The most famous brand of peanut butter.
Jif.
Oh, you just went with Jif. All right, my man. So you're on the good side.
Okay. Peter Pan.
I could have swore to you it was Jiffy.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
There's no Jiffy peanut butter.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist.
That's because you're more into lube, so it makes sense though. Jiffy lube.
That's what I put on my balls for my dog. Holy shit.
Trains off the rails. Bob Barker.
The company that's got the company that's got the Wienermobile. What's the company name?
Oscar Mayer.
Spell it.
I think it's OSCAR and then it's MEYER.
Incorrect. Mandela Effect.
Okay.
Oscar Mayer.
Mayer. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
See, that's the kind of shit we're talking about with this.
Yeah.
I could have swore to you too. It's Oscar Mayer. And
Mayer.
There's a fucking jingle, right?
What I will say is that's the reason though. But thinking about spelling it, that's just how I'm sounding it out.
Baloney's got his first name.
I think that's why probably that Mandela Effect exists. Is like the jingle in that time period, right, was way more went across. It's almost like it's kind of like a game of telephone in a way with that type of a thing, right? Like what the reality is by the time what you're hearing through the telephone at certain points, like that's what everyone believes is what reality is.
Skechers.
What about?
There's no T.
I was actually, damn it, why didn't you give me the chance to spell it? I was going to give you that one. Fuck. No T.
Kit Kat.
What about now? The spelling?
Spell Kit Kat. Yeah.
It's is it the capitalization or what?
Oh, just spell Kit Kat.
It's not KIT dash KAT?
No dash.
Really?
No shit. Like, these are the wild shit that you're like, they're definitely fucking with us. for sure.
Oh, you know what's funny about that? I'm realizing it now too, though, is because what's funny about that? I'm realizing it now too, though, is because when they sometimes will, it's like the T looks like the dash, in the way they kind of set it up sometimes. Interesting. No dash.
Yep. Yeah, it's just it's this stupid stuff that it trips me.
I love that.
Trips me out, man. Mandela effects are wild ass shit.
That is pretty cool, though.
Forrest Gump. Famous line from Forrest Gump.
You know, I haven't seen that movie as often as a lot of other people, so I don't necessarily know it as much. I mean, if you tell me what it is, I probably would, but it's not like off the top of my head, guaranteed. What do you got?
Forrest Gump doesn't say life is like a box of chocolates.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, he says life was like
Oh.
a box of chocolates. What the fuck? Like, we're changing one word out of here.
Really?
And completely ruining my childhood.
I will say, though, that one doesn't
Jason
really.
got it. Jason got it. Life was
like a box of chocolates. Interesting. Yeah, the tense there, huh?
Snow White. She's talking to the mirror.
I was gonna say that the new one, that was a wild.
Didn't see that.
Well, not that you should have, but like it was a wild time. The lady, the girl who was playing Snow White, basically got into this. They tried to change the whole way the movie was made. It turned crazy and turned rough, real rough. Disney kind of turned
like
on and everything. It was a
live
whole
action.
Yeah, it was like a whole her what do you want to call it? Her aura and her entire like career, I think, became like shambled from it too. She was.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was wild, man. Wild stuff. But she did it to herself in a way, man. She started bringing politics into it. Crazy stuff. Okay, what about it? The mirror.
Snow White. Yep. She's talking in the mirror. What'd she say?
Who's the fairest of them all?
How she started?
Testing my age here. I don't know what.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Wall. Who's that? Is that what she says or no?
Nope. Magic mirror on the wall.
Magic mirror on the wall. Mirror, mirror. Oh, okay. Everybody thinks it's mirror, mirror. She says magic mirror on the wall. Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
I wonder, like that one. I wonder if it sounds at all like that, or if it's genuinely just something people made up in their brain.
Silence of the Lambs. You know, Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
His famous line from that comes up behind her.
Oh yeah. Why can I not think of it though? I do know it. Damn it.
Hello, Clarice.
Yeah.
Never says that.
What?
Says, good morning, Clarice.
Oh, good morning, Clarice. Okay.
It's this kind of shit. Oh,
that's actually really interesting. Although most of these seem to be
Freddie Mercury at the end of "We Are the Champions." You know, think of the song.
Yeah. I'm trying to think though. What I was gonna say is that a lot of these seem to be in a similar time period though.
Yep. We are the champions,
my friend.
Of the world.
Of the world, yeah. Uh-huh.
Doesn't say it.
Really?
Never sings it out. Where the fuck did we get that from?
There's no way on that one.
Yep.
What does he say of the world? What does he say of the world with then?
Probably much more towards the middle of the song, like probably in a lyric there. That's where we get it from. But listen, in my head, still to this fucking day, if you told me how's it, we are the champions then. We are the champions, and then there's like a dramatic pause, and then of the world. No, doesn't happen. Mr. Rogers, they ruined this fucking thing for you too. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Nope. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
For a neighbor, yeah. Mm-hmm. In this neighborhood.
How does this shit happen, man?
It's it's kind of funny though, because people get they hang up on what they the way they I think what you get here too is a little bit of people do end up getting hung up on the way they. This is a big POV thing, honestly, right? People get very hung up on the way they want to interpret everything, right? And
100%.
So when you're saying something, it's kind of, I think, trying to change people's minds is honestly another thing that I've more and more learned. Like, it's just literally not worth the time, because you can't change someone's mind. I mean, with those, you can give you, let's say, a hard fact that says this isn't actually what they said. But even there, right here, watch. Nah, fuck that. So his life was like, it's like, You ain't moving them. You're not moving them. There's no point.
Okay, I'll give you another one then. The name of the character who has the commercials about forest fires, you know? Think about when you were a kid.
I'm feeling like, did I miss this? Am I just a couple years off on this? Like,
you might be.
If you tell me, I'll probably be like, oh, yeah, duh. Well, who is it?
Smokey the Bear?
Okay, yeah, all right. Damn it.
It's not Smokey the Bear.
What is it?
It's just Smokey Bear.
See, that's one of those things. It's like it makes sense. See, it was Smokey the Bear when it was never that, but everyone knows. Oh yeah, Smokey the Bear. That's crazy.
How about the Challenger space shuttle explosion?
What, the line?
What year?
Space shuttle explosion?
Challenger.
I don't know. Now, the Mandela Effect. I'm trying to like process all these at once. My fucking brain is like scattered at this point. I can't even keep track right now.
If you asked me right off rip, I would have told you 1985 with like emphatic.
Well, I mean that's 3 years before I was fucking born.
Yeah, 86.
86.
Emphatically, I would have told you 85, but it was 86.
Well, I will say, based on this conversation, I feel a lot better about where I stand on Omar Cooper Jr. at the moment. The fact nothing never happened.
Those are just some of the Mandela effects. I'm sure there's more out there, but yeah, if you ever get some free time on the shitter, man, just start going down rabbit holes of Mandela effects. It's fucking fantastic. Fantastic.
I might have to do that. I realize it goes deeper and pause.
Is this a Mandela effect? Because I feel like we already had this one up here.
It is. Although this time what I'm doing is I'm correcting it. I'm giving it. I don't believe. I could also be wrong on this. I don't remember anyway. Maybe it was the Mandela effect. I don't remember putting the cash on the screen. So I'm like, you know what? Let me make sure I get him that effect if I didn't. So whether I did it twice or it was a Mandela effect, I meant to put cash on the screen. Okay. I think that's all. Is that all she wrote? Do you have anything before we get out of here, Mike? We've been going for 2 hours.
No, I just wanted to highlight the combine thing, especially after last week's show. I'm excited for it. Adam, you gonna watch any? What do we got tomorrow? I think it's D-line and linebackers.
Tomorrow, the skill players I think start going Friday, right?
Saturday, I believe.
Is it only Saturday? Okay.
I think it's Saturday.
I thought is it tight ends?
Could be a Mandela effect. Could be. You could have some tight ends.
Yeah,
because they could be working out with the offensive line because of blocking.
Yeah, let's see.
But I do know Saturday for sure. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs. You know the main
joint Saturday for sure.
Yeah, combine schedule, man.
Tight ends Friday. Okay, not a Mandela effect.
Not a Mandela effect, my man.
So but it's an A-war play. So Friday is where it begins. It's just DBs and tight ends.
Tight ends and DBs, and then Saturday quarterbacks, wide receivers, running
Saturday's
backs.
the big shebang though. All right, or but the Shazam tomorrow, for those that wanted that one.
For just NFL fans or fans of teams, IDP guys, I guess.
Sure.
D-line, linebackers.
Yeah, I'm not telling you I'm not going to watch it, by the way, on Thursday. I'm just saying that I was just talking the fantasy aspect, yeah.
I'm invested in tomorrow. I won't be watching, obviously. I got to fucking work. But Saturday I was sitting down. I'm definitely watching the combine. I'm watching 40s and running backs, wide receivers for sure. But tomorrow is always kind of interesting because for NFL fans of teams, we got a lot of big name prospects. It just so happens Ohio State, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles. If they really fucking work it out, man, I want to see these guys because they're both freaks.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Let's go, man.
Arvell, especially in my opinion, man, is like. I feel like he's a jack of all. Like he could do so many different things on the field. You could you play him where he's strongest, but I feel like you could end up just complete jackknife. You could use him anywhere.
Is it crazy for me to say? I think I put it in the Discord for Arvell though. If he goes out and he runs somewhere in the 4.5s, weighing at like 230, 240, we're gonna get Micah Parsons 2.0 comparisons out of this guy for sure.
Definitely. Honestly, let me ask you this. So here's what I'll say. He went to Glenville, all right, and that's for high school. Cleveland up here. It's got a long lineage of really good this Gins from there, right? Ted Gins from there. Pops does a lot of the coaching there. Well, he used to anyway. So
Ted Gins Sr.?
Yeah, Ted Gins Sr. So I think Mike. He wasn't a 5-star, right? He was a high 4-star kid. I don't know that he should. Micah Parsons is lofty, but I feel like let me ask you: do you think it's warranted though? The comp or the style comp, maybe not the high end, like impacts the game at such a crazy level. But I think that's the type of mold he is, in my opinion.
He's that hybrid edge player. I think the key difference is I do think he's a freak athlete too, though, like Michael Parsons. Maybe not to the level, because Michael Parsons.
We're gonna find out this weekend. Is maybe the cool part.
Which is a cool part. We'll find out tomorrow. Maybe, hopefully. Yeah. I do think that the key difference is I think Arvell is a little better at off-ball linebacker. More of that middle linebacker, outside linebacker. More traditional. And Michael Parsons was better at the edge than he is as an off-ball linebacker. So I think that's probably the key difference. But there is a lot of similarities between the two. But that's not to besmirch the good name of Arvell Reese either, because I watched him absolutely fucking destroy offensive tackles last year.
That's what
on his own.
I was going to say too. I don't disagree. Like I think there's similar archetype that I would agree. Micah Parsons' pass rush seems to be in its own special ilk of almost different than anyone else out there. But
yeah,
I want to say, at least to that point, one thing that is interesting, always with Ohio State especially being noted, I think the fact that he went to Ohio State is to where I'm not going to say that he doesn't have that type of game-changing ability if he was to get more of a guaranteed opportunity to do that. Because Ohio State, a lot of times, it's all about, you look at receivers, look at all these positions where it's just they're fucking loaded everywhere. So they may just ask him to do more often than that. But I wouldn't be completely shocked, Mike. Let me say this. I'm not saying I disagree with your statement, because I agree. But I wouldn't be completely shocked to see he gets to be a game-wrecking, game-changing player and force as a pass rusher in the NFL if asked to do that more and works on that a little more.
And then his teammate, Sonny Styles, I'm really excited. A lot of Fred Warner comps to him. Big, tall, 6'5", probably 240 is what I'm guessing. 240 some plus is what he's going to measure in at. But he can also run like a motherfucker. He can run. So, listen, if we can get a Sonny Styles tomorrow, like sub 4.5 40, I'm telling you, we don't get a lot of off-ball linebacker prospects drafted in the top 10.
Yeah.
Lock him in. We get a sub 4.5 out of him tomorrow. Lock that fucker in top 10. Sure. And I would say my early like landing spot for him, 6 to the Giants, right? Because Harbaugh has a history of wanting that dude in the middle of his defense.
That's a good call.
Like wanting that dude. Roquan Smith as of late. But you think about the early days, man, he had Ray Lewis, and then he tried with Patrick Queen. Didn't work out so well for him with the Patrick Queen thing, but they love those middle linebackers who are just fucking freaks, man. So yeah, Sonny Styles, man, he goes out, he runs a 4.5-ish. Yeah, fucking sign me up, man.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I would take. I don't know what the lines are, but these guys are. They feel like world class, different hybrid athletes. I'll be taking, I think, unders on some of the. I think he's gonna run in the 4.5s. I really do. He's fucking.
I didn't see if Ruben Bain was gonna do anything at the combine, but his arms are gonna be a major question. I know they have been all offseason because reported like 31-inch arms, which are pretty fucking short. So we'll see how that goes.
Is he not gonna do anything? Is that
I don't
right?
know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you're saying you're not sure. All right.
Haven't seen if he's working out or doing anything, but Ruben Bain, loved the film, obviously. College football playoff, we got to see how dominant he was in there. Of course, his teammate, Akeem Mesidor, same thing, so we'll get a chance to see him. But yeah, I would love to see Ruben Bain come out and all of a sudden we get like 34-inch arms, which would be awesome. It's be like, well, there's your number 2 pick. Lock him in. You are a New York Jet. Congratulations.
It's kind of funny how they I don't know. There's like, who was he sitting down with? One of the big names, Rich Eisen, maybe. And his answer was like, the NFL teams are focusing on, like the way I play the game. They weren't focusing on my arms, which is funny because it's like it's become such a talking point. Especially like with this class, feels like not a lot of talking points. It's just always. He's probably heard it and seen it at nauseum, about his arms.
Well, and then Friday, like you said, thank you for tight ends. Hopefully we get a Kenyon Sadiq workout. I think personally he needs it. Like we need a good 40 time out of Kenyon Sadiq because of his size.
But I was gonna say that's because we have a very different feel and opinion and totally different thing on the tight end position. So, but I will say, to me, him confirming or getting a positive warp score. How about RAS score?
RAS score. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Speaking of, that wasn't Mandela Effect. That was just misspeaking. The RAS score is huge, and to me, the one thing about the combine, if you're going to talk the tight end position, process-wise, it's got to be RAS. You got to be RAS. If you're not, I'm good. I'm completely good. I was kind of that way before fully embracing the A-Warp tight end life. Now it's I'm done. I'm out.
I'm sold. Good. Just don't take yourself too far on the extreme where we invest, too many third-round picks in Zach Kuntz.
Yeah. Well, no. Listen. Right. I'm not saying it's gospel, right? But if you don't meet the low end criteria, I'm out. Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm going to draft, all the guys that have perfect RAS scores. Especially, listen, Mike and I once fought over for an entire offseason a guy that, I almost don't want to mention his fucking name, but that he didn't play, and like basically didn't play in college. Just a RAS freak. Mike, you want to tell everybody we fought every single draft for this fucking Sammy's Reyes, man.
Yeah, Sammy's Reyes, baby. Sammy's Reyes. Let's sign him up.
Yikes.
No, yeah, so that'll be interesting. We'll also see if we get any kind of surprises out of nowhere. I'm interested to see, like, who's tight end too. Like, who's going to be the kind of value guy for me in round 3, probably, I'm going to guess, is probably where I'll be comfortable selecting him. Is it Max Clare, another Ohio State guy? Is it somebody else? Is it Eli Stowers? Could we get some Eli Stowers awesome RAS with his production profile and actually have a conversation about who tight end 1 is? That would be fun.
It would be. Of course, I doubt we get it, but it would be fun.
And then, of course, the
pretty decided this year, doesn't it?
The creme de la creme will be Saturday. Let's watch these running backs and wide receivers run. At the running back position, we'll headline it. Jeremiah Love, come on, baby. 4.36, give it to me. Give me that Jahmyr Gibbs 1-for-1 comp, just, 15 pounds heavier. That would be awesome. And then RB2, can we get a surprise out of there? Can we get a Jonah Coleman, somewhere around 4.5 would be awesome. Can we get an Emmett Johnson, like a 4.3 out of Emmett Johnson would be like, oh shit, I know I hate Nebraska, but I got to go check this fucking guy out with his production profile and then that speed. And then the wide receivers, we're not going to get a Tyson. I hope we get a Tate. I hope we get a Lemon. Denzel Boston, Brazel, Zachariah Branch, like all these next tier guys, Omar Cooper.
I was gonna say
run, baby.
I don't think any of the guys would opt out except for possibly
Tyson said he's good.
Yeah, well,
Tyson, Tate, Lemon.
Right, those 3. Because the other guys I think they don't unless we end up being completely wrong on what we know. That nobody's been given, hey, you're a first round pick. Don't go run. So
you're not making it past 22.
Right. So like what I was actually just thinking about this though, right? Because you said the tight end. We were talking about tight ends. I'm pretty sure it's decided with Sadiq almost for no matter what. It'd be fun, but it's probably not happening. Mike, this is I think real quickly the 26th class how you can encapsulate the problem. Okay. Every year, whether you think really highly or lowly of the class and the in-betweens, it's like, you could say there's weak points at the draft. This year, what's crazy is how top-heavy or not really running back, quarterback, and tight end. You can't have – this is why this class is going to be different than even the worst bad ones. You can't have 3 of the 4 positions be potentially top-heavy with one person.
One guy.
You can't. That ruins a class. Literally, if you look at tight ends, Mike, there's 5. Keep Trade Cut has 5 names they even in their fucking system right now.
I don't know how they got 5.
But I'm saying that's a short number, and you're like, holy shit, this is that's not 13 running backs and 6 quarterbacks, and you could argue all those are a stretch just to even have the names in their database. That I think is there's your big conundrum and your big issue with the class. The wide receivers are fine. The wide receivers are probably going to be deep enough, but you just can't. You can't do that. You can't. You're killing us with that.
Well, what about 2022, right? We had Breece Hall, big
But
gap.
we did, but it wasn't. We can admit it wasn't as sizable. At least it didn't feel that way at the moment, right?
You had Kenny Pickett, big gap.
Kenneth Walker at this time wasn't as, I don't think, crappy as. And Kenny Pickett, Mike, let's not even say that because Malik Willis was in the class, right? He was supposed to be the one. And Kenny Pickett wasn't supposed to go round one, or wasn't, a guarantee or a lock to go round one, even though he's the only one.
Man, what do we have at tight end? Trey McBride?
Which, I don't know if he was Sadiq level at the moment, but kind of comparable. He was
worse than Sadiq. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he was Sadiq level, but he was thought of pretty highly. Maybe not Sadiq though, but he was.
But that whole 22 class was made up of what? Wide receivers.
It was, and I would say, at least at the moment, I would take. Well, it's hindsight bias, but even that, like thinking about it from this standpoint, going into it, there was a good, healthy number of receivers. It felt like. And how many round one guys did we get too? By the way, let alone Pickens didn't go round one.
Treylon, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, J-Mo,
Olave. 5. There you go.
Oh, Jahan Dotson.
There you go. 6. And we were kind of high on Dotson. Mike, actually, there you go. That's the great point. I thought there was going to be 5 or 6 almost locks. I think going into the draft, I said I think we get 7. I don't think there's any chance we get 7 this year.
You had 3 second-round running backs: James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall.
See.
You had 6 first-round wide receivers. You had 1 first-round quarterback. You had a second-round tight end in Trey McBride. That was it.
Yep.
End of list.
But, Mike, here's the thing. 22, that was the final product. Like, you're talking the final product there, right? We didn't – you and I, for sure, I know for a fact, didn't think there was only one quarterback going in round 1, right?
No.
I think we knew the receivers had a better draft position in round 1 especially. And I think we thought higher. We thought higher of the deepness of the class of the running back. Like right now, Mike, I genuinely, I can confidently tell you I don't feel confident saying. I can confidently say I don't feel confident that we're locking in any of these running backs round 2, if not day 2. Like it's ugly.
That's fair. Yeah, 22, I'll definitely give you that. The running backs, I'm taking myself back into the time, but, James Cook was a little bit more of an afterthought, but you and I both liked Isaiah Spiller.
Right.
We liked
Spiller,
Rashad White.
He fell. Right, for sure.
Rashad White. Dameon Pierce, more of an afterthought. Brian Robinson, you and I weren't very high on
didn't like
at
him.
all. Kyron Williams had a horrible fucking combine.
We didn't think that was. We didn't know that was coming. We would have liked him a lot more, right?
Tyler Algier had a horrible combine.
I love Tyler Algier, right?
Yeah, had a horrible combine. Yeah, the running back class was a little bit deeper.
But that's the point. But that's, I guess, my point is even in a class like that, Mike, it wasn't like we're going into landmines at 3 or 4 positions. That's what it feels like right now, the way we think of the class. So
you're right.
The combine is of great magnitude this year. Not that it always isn't, but Mike, we need some fucking people to pop up, okay? We need some randos here. We need some guys to fucking show up, man.
We need some. All right, Jonah Coleman, let's go, bud.
Let's go. You got to prove all the doubters wrong. You're fast as hell.
I need a fucking Eli Stowers 4.540 on Friday. Let's do this.
So yeah, let's just say going into this combine, I'm excited for it, but we're gonna take everything we can get. All right, we're gonna take all of it.
Dude. I'm definitely typing in if Jeremiah Love runs though. Like do you remember that old fucking Ray Garvin video of Jalen Reagor running the 40?
Oh man, that was awesome. It still lives in. That's not the Mandela Effect, by the way. That video lives in infamy in my head. It was great at the time, great now. He was so hyped for it, and then he fucking ran. Did he run 4.5 something? Right?
Yeah, it wasn't super.
It wasn't
awesome.
High. It wasn't like terrible, but it wasn't like he killed it. Yeah.
Now you got me trying to remember, and then I feel so bad as an Eagles fan. I talked myself into Jalen Reagor so fucking much. 4.47 was his official time. Okay. So it wasn't horrendous.
So I feel like, you know what? Probably I think you know how they ran it multiple times. I feel like in the video Ray was watching, and then the the score that popped up was like 4.51 or something, right? He ran like right around that. It was so awesome.
What?
Yeah.
Just that look of disbelief.
Yeah.
I hope I don't have that. A live stream if Jeremiah Love runs. All right, just.
Well, I was gonna say, so for Love, what would you say? What would you bet his time's gonna be if you had to bet? Like, let's just say you're gonna stick you're planting your flag on this time.
4.38.
It's I don't want to say it's lofty. That's a
Lofty.
blazer time though.
I wonder if we got any like early props. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think. By the way, speaking of 24, I want to say, isn't that what Garendo ran?
Yeah. Much bigger though. I think.
Yeah.
220 plus. Okay. Yeah.
But I'm just trying to give context to like, I don't think at the position, Mike, as far as really highly touted names lately, like 4.38 is blazing, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Just for reference, Gibbs was 4.36.
Yeah.
Etienne 4.38.
Was he 4.38? Okay. For some reason I thought 4.32. Okay.
Etienne 40 time. Fuck, you're right. All right. Mandela Effect 4.32.
Boom. All right. Well, one of us had to have the Mandela Effect. For some reason, I was thinking 4.32, and it was crazy though, because whether it was 4.38, 4.39, or 4.31, everything around him it doesn't matter. He's 188. Just throw it out the window. Like he's 188.
We don't care.
He's 188. He can't play. He's not a full-time back at the NFL level, which is wild.
The one thing I love about Jeremiah Love and projecting a 4.38, let's call it. And with Gibbs at like 4.36, Gibbs ran it at 199.
199, yeah,
sub 200, which we've learned over the last couple of years doesn't mean as much as it used to, but it still means something. It was
just crazy because that was such a hard decided line at 200.
200 pounds.
Like 200 was like the correct, like it was like a actual threshold number, and he happened to be 1 pound short of it. It's like, wow, give me a fucking break.
He's like,
drink some water before you weigh in. Come on, pal.
Yeah, one Dr. Pepper, you would have been good.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about Jeremiah Love, and you'll see it in the video, spoiler alert this week, prospect video, Jeremiah Love coming out. He looks like a solid 210 pounds, like easily. Like 210. So, if we get sub 4.4 at 210, holy fuck. Like, not as impressive, let's say, not as impressive as Jonathan Taylor or Saquon Barkley.
Garendo.
Garendo didn't have the production profile.
No, but I'm saying Garendo, when he ran it, the crazy part was it was literally him, Barkley, Taylor, and maybe one other name only that north of 220 running those times.
Let's flash back to combine hits, man. We did a 4D podcast where we were talking about, projections or whatever at the combine. You remember that? The name I threw out? Isaac Garendo. Watch for him to wow at the combine. Let's go.
I was all aboard the train, but I don't think I projected him to run as fast as you did.
That was fast as fuck. And then great rookie year, and then just disappeared. Didn't even want to use him. Fuck, we're gonna put Brian Robinson back to return kickoffs this year. What the fuck?
What do you think? Do you have any hot takes then, as far as any names that you think are going to impress or disappoint, and we'll ride out of here?
I honestly think if Denzel Boston goes out and runs,
you think he'll be faster than what we think?
I think it'll be faster. I think we look at him more as a Keon Coleman type.
I would be honest with you. I really like Denzel Boston, which makes me feel more to the Keon Coleman. I like Keon. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I don't feel like that'd be one guy I feel confident it's not going to blaze.
Don't think so.
I want to believe. I'm a Denzel Boston guy. I just, something deep in my bones tells me it's just, he's a good runner. He's a technician. I like him. I just don't think it's speed. But maybe I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. I love Boston.
I'm going to go Boston. I'm going to give you two guys.
The only thing I will say, though, to that as well, because of the pedigree, there's a chance he's been prepping for a combine and how to run a 40 a lot more than anyone else is typically going to.
I'm going to go with Boston as my surprise.
Okay.
One of my surprises. I'll give you a second.
What does that mean, by the way? Can we give a number-ish?
Very low 4.5s. If he doesn't crack it, I think he'll be in the 4.4s.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Damn. 4 fours for Boston would be
Probably
put him into the first round almost lock in my opinion.
I'm gonna guess his official measurements 6'3" and some change, and like 210.
For those that don't know, too, by the way, he is son of David Boston, and he is if you watch David Boston, if you remember him playing back in the day, very much like he's big, strong,
yoked up. He's got a
girth.
few inches on his pops though, for sure.
Oh no, for sure. What I'm saying is though, this dude is he's a size guy. So if he runs a fast 40, that would be
awesome.
Yeah.
Running back position, we talked about him long time ago. Terrible senior season. You're like, why the fuck did you come
Singleton?
back? Nick Singleton. Watch for Nick Singleton to be
I
close
expect him to rip it up too.
Watch for Nick Singleton to be mid 220s on his way in, and then Nick Singleton will challenge for like, dude, he's got the same measurements as Jonathan Taylor when he came out.
Yeah,
there's my hot ones.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I think he's going to go crazy at the combine. I will say, I don't know. I'm interested to see. It's always funny how, at least to me, I see the numbers and the prospect grade change multiple times on NFL.com or these places. What?
Dale throwing cold water on this, and it looks like he's right. Doesn't look like Nick Singleton doing fuck at the combine.
Okay, well then, the good news is I was going to say I think he could have easily been RB2, but there's, and this makes sense because of the injury maybe, the hype around him has really kind of been a lot more tempered than I was thinking it might be at this point, frankly. And honestly, I don't think any of the evaluators and the people in the the more of the talking heads, no, they're all way more cool than I was expecting to see on Nick Singleton as well at this time. So I don't know. It's it sucks that we don't get to see him run too, because I think he's a freak athlete, man.
All right then. So I don't get Nick Singleton. All right, Zachariah Branch, it's on you then. All right, you're my honorary mention.
Okay,
Zachariah Branch. I hope we get clear. Please be damn near 5'10". Please.
I was gonna say Branch to me is all about the size, but the one thing about him, and I think I don't know, it seems like the way he got fed the football and where he's operating, it's like, I don't know, maybe the community will change and be different, but I feel like, man, there's just no real upside here. It doesn't seem or feel. You know what I mean?
I can see it because his last year at Georgia, he ran a more advanced route tree than we'd ever seen before.
Sure.
He was used more downfield than we'd ever seen before, so it wasn't as many. There's still a lot of slot usage.
I was gonna say a lot still even
screen.
A ton of forced, manipulated and forced manufactured
1,000%. But it was good to see that progression in his final year there at Georgia when he transferred. If we can get 5'10" Zachariah Branch at, let's say, close to 190.
I was going to say 190 plus, got to be, yeah.
Please. And then we can get Zachariah Branch in high school. Like I talked about Jeremiah Love's 40 time in high school, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achan's 40 time or 100 time in high school. Zachariah Branch, legit burner, 10.33 in high school.
Wasn't it very early in college? Like one of his first things, he housed one return?
100%.
Yeah, right.
100%. Yes. So if we can get that, and we can get a Zachariah Branch close to 5'10", north of 190 would be fantastic. And we can get like a 4.35 or sub out of Zachariah Branch. There's my other surprise, because we will get 100% first round buzz out of him. Now, Adam, to your point, there's going to be a lot of questions. What's his route tree?
Yeah,
can he do it outside of the slot?
Is he nuanced? Yeah, all the good questions.
By the way, man, terrible news this week. Another guy.
Oh, I meant to start talking about this, dude. That was
Rondale Moore. Rest
awful,
in peace,
man. Awful, dude. I can't even imagine that, dude. Literally, Mike at that point now wasn't making content, but damn near on getting ready to make content, and he was a college prospect. Like, it's actually funny you were talking about Ray, Mike. That was the first video. That's how I found Ray. It was the first video of Ray I watched. He was talking about Rondale Moore and his prospect profile and coming into the. This guy was he's a guy that we drafted in Dynasty. It feels like incredibly recently. I talked about literally in my first year at BDGE how he was such a learning experience. Like, with the Dynasty profile. Not about him, but to think that he's 25 and passed away, man, is just it's one of those gut wrenching things when I saw it, man. Just like there's just no, this is not real life.
So I bring that all the way back. Zachariah Branch, very similar. So let's go, man. Zachariah, let's go out. But yeah, rest in peace, Rondale Moore. That one's a tough one too, because kind of
25 years old, man.
When we first started doing, like, really getting invested in this, Rondale Moore, big name, big name. That 18-year-old breakout, what he did his freshman year at Purdue, and then subsequently your Ohio State Buckeyes got it from Rondale Moore. Like, his almost entire highlight tape, like if you go look at Rondale Moore highlights from Purdue, might be in one game. He did it versus other teams too. He gave the Iowa Hawkeyes their business. I vividly remember that one. But what he did versus those Buckeyes in primetime, lights on in that stadium, major upset. Rondale fucking gave the Buckeyes the business, man.
Yeah,
I remember him fucking fondly. And,
it's crazy.
You and
too.
I got some history with him in trades. Rondale Moore Dynasty trades were a big deal between us two.
That whatever offseason that was, we made a boatload of trades that offseason. He was in quite a few of them. But it's actually crazy because like the breakout age and then I think it was the target share were both like on cloud nine. And to the point of Zachariah Branch, it's like it's almost like sometimes even in what we are knowing of advanced stats, there's still not enough. You need, it's almost eventually becomes a little more like a cassette tape in certain ways, where it's like the college target share, for example. If you're just how impressive or is it important if you're just talking about manufactured like Rondale Moore, if you look at it, dude, they just gave him the ball. Like it was essentially giving him the ball out of the backfield, just trying to get him to the numbers quicker, right? Like that's the amount of targets he had at the line of scrimmage was just crazy. So that's, I guess, my anyway, that's my worry with Zachariah Branch. Now, I'm with you. There was at least some encouraging things this last year, so draft capital would be big. But
Rondale Moore, freshman season, 18 years old.
18, yeah, real 18-year breakout, right?
114 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 12 touchdowns.
As an 18-year-old.
And then added 21 carries, 213 yards, and 2 scores on the ground.
No, for sure. Now, imagine thinking that for a second. That's crazy to think about. He's passed away now, too, as you're saying that. But imagine being 18. You're 5'8", 5'7", let's really call it. 5'7", small athlete. But imagine you come in as an 18-year-old kid and just lay it down, right? Versus all
in the
these
Big
grown
Ten.
men,
In the Big Ten, just doing it. Yeah. There you go. There's my combine to watch for. Those are
I will say I'll add the name that I don't have a strong lean, Mike, but the name I'm very I guess I'm most intrigued by to see if the results meet some of the hype is going to be Chris Brazzell.
There you go.
I think he has I think if he wows at the combine, I think there's just the way he's a size speed guy. So if he ends up wowing at the combine, I think it'll confirm shooting and skyrocketing up the board. So interested to see if he actually does blaze it.
Funny you bring that one up. Guess who is the film session tomorrow night?
Oh, you going Chris? All right, Brazzell too.
Chris Brazzell.
Love it.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think especially when you're in the class like this, in this class which we are, but when those are the type of names when we're reaching for players, like, all right, give me that upside swing. If I'm gonna go, not the household name prospect, let him be 6. What do they got him at 6'5"? I mean, he's tall, right?
It'll be good though, because we've had a lot of questions on AMA. We definitely got one Tennessee Vols fan that tunes in every now and then, and they probably asked like 3 times throughout this off-season process, "What are your thoughts on Chris Brazzell?" And I'm like, I gotta watch it. I gotta see it in person. I got this Tennessee helmet bias where I'm like, no more Deontay Thorntons, no more Jalen Hyatts. But tomorrow night we'll find out.
Sounds like no, Jay, unfortunately. So we'll pour some cold water on this and on you and on all of us for our exit here. I will say next week when we come back, it'll be we'll have a lot to discuss. Next week's gonna have a lot of things to get through, and I think at the time right now, a lot of for me and for Mike and for I think in general the space, a lot of process talk, this is when we're going to start being able to actually get a lot of measurements and movables as far as really putting players up and down. So get your, as Mike needed to, get the Vaseline, get your anus ready. It's going to be a lot of moving, all right, for the next week.
Get it ready, man.
We love you. We'll see you back here same time, same place for May. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace.